morning, traders. How we doing out there? Who's ready to go ahead and see what happened here with CPI, of course, as we're getting the reaction market going higher. Sorry about that, guys. Cable got stuck there. All right, fixed. All right, well, we're taking a look here at CPI. It's definitely getting a nice little rip into the market. We were already getting the Oracle lift as AI took off and really kind of getting the push there. Let's go to it. Let's take a look at what's going on really quickly. We'll dive right into it, guys. Let's go to it. All right, first up, of course, Oracle. You guys can see how that was just ripping through the moon. We'll take a look at other stocks here, but definitely let's take a look here. Let me just open up Benzinga Pro here. Of course, you guys can actually have access to Benzinga Pro yourself, right? Through our partnership. Take a look into that if you guys haven't done so already. But of course, we were looking for CPI to see what would happen here. Core PPI coming in at a negative 0.1 versus a 0.3 estimate. Then you take a look at the month over month. The prior for August was revised from 0.9 to 0.7. And the core PPI year over year was at 2.8 versus a 3.5 estimate. 3.4 prior, revised from 3.7. So it just goes to show us that CPI is all over the place, guys. It seems like the data is a little bit mixed here. Of course, it shows also that it wasn't as bad as expected. So that's really good signs for traders out there that are on the bullish side this morning. As you guys see things go higher, we'll take a look at that. Of course, you guys are seeing right now, I'll show you guys the SPY action here as things are ripping and continuing on the upside. We'll see if it continues to rip through that first wick. Of course, that wick got all the way as high here at 654.80s. So I'll be watching to see what happens there in the SPY. Can this keep going through? Hey, I'll tell you right now, I think we're on a little bit of a breakout for the rate cut. It doesn't only have to do with the CPI. And as long as the CPI doesn't show an insane spike in inflation, well, yeah, we'll be looking good here. All right, guys, we're looking around out there and definitely Oracle going higher, different names going higher. Did you guys see AMD? I sold my swing, but man, I sold it maybe a little bit early as AMDL now trading at 1050, guys. I had this thing pegged at 918. So really great trade. We're talking 15% just overnight. So I hope you guys were here watching me yesterday, struggling with CWD. I had about 200 and something loss. $220 in the loss, but that AMD trade yesterday, over $600. So ended up in the green, and that's what you can do, guys. Just focus on the risk to return. Was able to nail at least AMD, and you guys even heard me on the stream mention multiple times, I think I'm just going to stick with AMD. That's probably going to be the trade for me. All right, we'll take a look into the playbook. Let's get to that action. We can take a look at different action out there, but let's go to the playbook now. Up on the playlist, let's take a look here. We're going to take a look here at Apple to see if it recovers today. So of course the market's getting hit right now, and Apple was getting hit. I'm looking to see if maybe we're going to take a hit towards 230 on this name, because there's a little bit of a gap to fill into that area. So if we can pull back to 230s today, that's going to be more of a dip buy opportunity for me in Apple. Of course, the event was exactly kind of how I pictured it, guys. We talked about it here yesterday previewing it, and I said it'd probably be a buy the rumors, sell the news event, and exactly was that once more. We'll see what happens there as iPhones came out and different actions from, of course, the EarPods and things like that. We can talk about it. I mean, this is the kind of things where it's technology's good, but at the same time, also going to keep intellect a little lower. Guys, if we're not willing to learn languages, well, guess what? It's just going to show your intellect. And I think that's one thing that I really appreciate, knowing 2 languages. And you know what? I think I need to start working on the 3rd, right? There's never too late. All right, we'll take a look at the different market action there. You guys know where you're at. Good morning to you guys. It's a lot to take a look at in the market today, and more trades coming up. Let's take a look here. All right, next trade up, let's go to AMD as we look to see what happens here. AMD is one name that I've been watching, of course. You guys saw me take that trade, and I'm going to look to rinse and repeat on this trade, guys. So the key here is now looking for more of a day trade setup because this is ripping and rocking and rolling. So I really was looking for a move back towards 160 for a little bit of an undercut and rally. That would be more of that swing trade. But for right now, I think we could have room to going towards 164 quickly here. We're at 163 almost on the CPI print, so that's not too much further. We're talking about 1.3%. So if this is more of an opening buy here, looking for a quick rip and selling the rip. We'll see what happens on that name as we'll get ETF effects around in the market. That could mean trouble for some other big names, but I'm looking to see if Tesla can get moving here. Rate cuts catalyst is the move here, and I think that this has been hanging out here, looking prime, ready to go. So let's see if this starts to run to 360 today and gives you that big move. It could still pull back to 340s, 342 area. That's one thing. 343s, something like that is still in play. But for me, I think this is already giving us a nice clear break for the upside breakout. We'll see what happens there in Tesla as it starts to get going. 349 to 350. Let's see. Do we get some Tesla today? And what about China? Talk about China so much here, guys. I've talked about FXI. I was trying to get this swing trade, messed it up, guys. Got cut out there at the 38s. But, I mean, look at that. Since even just the day I got cut out on Thursday, we're already up 6%. And this tells me that China is an underrated trade, and it's continuing to go higher. We talked about yesterday, PDD might start to get higher. It did have a nice day yesterday. It was all the way up at a bunch of about 2.7%. But we talked about also, Michael Noss talked about, what about JD? And JD getting a nice little lift also. Day 2 move, right? So I think both of these names are in play. And we could take a look at the high flyers like Baidu. Those are really kind of ripping towards the moon. And what about the kind of the EV plays? We'll take a look at that. NIO has pulled back, gave you a nice undercut under the 6. So a move back above 6 today could be an alert there for NIO. We'll see what happens in some other names. You can also take a look at XPEV and names like that. I'm still watching different stocks out there. We'll talk about the high flyers and the penny stocks names. Let's take a look at some of these penny stocks before we move on. Don't have Kevin here, so I will go and bring on my scanner here. You guys can see there's some names here up 278%. GLE up 293. Camp up to 100%, guys. And EDHL now getting up there. So plenty of runners out there. Let's see if this thing wants to run again. This EDHL, not looking too bad there. We'll see if we get this to start to run here. EDHL, could this get run right back above the $1? This thing went spiking here, so we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of names to kind of take a look at there. My computer is definitely throttling there, so if you guys lose me for a second, you guys know what's going on there. Yeah, trade term, having some issues there with my program on that EDHL, but hey, that's how it goes. We'll take a look at the different names, of course. And what about the moves yesterday with QMMM? Of course, Michael Noss, I think, was able to capture this on the nice trade. I hope he was able to ride it all the way up there. But this thing went all the way up there about 700%. Went up to $303. Just absolute insanity. And I was looking at it around kind of the 250, 300 range. But I didn't take a trade on this, guys. It was going all the way until 345, and it went down in the after hours. And this morning, it's continued down. We'll look to see if we get another pop, or will it just be a drop after this, right? There's other ones that we can take a look at, guys. I mean, man, it's been a crazy ride, right? Yesterday, we had CWD that was just ripping, but there were so many, guys. There was EPSM that went all the way to 150, and this is where I was looking to short 150, but man, it's just too hard to kind of short these. Another thing is I got to be at the computer. I sometimes take a look at these on my phone, and I'm just like excited about it, but I'm like, nah, on the phone, probably not the way to do it, man. We'll see what happens in the market. Let's get to the Sunrise report where we can talk more about Oracle's report. We can take a look into the market. I'm going to catch up with some of you comments in the chats. You guys out there to take a look into your stocks. What What are you watching this morning? We'll take a look around the market today. MSTR going higher. A lot of names just pushing overnight, guys. We are getting ourselves that rally. And remember, I talked about coin yesterday. I said, man, this chart just looks prime. Really nice day yesterday, closing almost towards the high, 4.7% just yesterday in coin. Guys, sometimes I'm going to be able to see the market, but maybe not even trade it the best. Yes, I'll admit it, guys. And the truth is that's not what I'm here for, right? At the end of the day, I'm also here for you out there that's watching right now so that I can keep you guys in tune with the markets. It's not just about my trading. It's also about you right now tuning in. So smash that like and do me that favor. Hit the like and hit the share down below so that other traders can find us right here on Trade the Pool. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look here. GEV going higher. That tells me to start taking a look at the nuclear trade. So this is a bull flag entry, right? You can take a look at the bull flag here. This is as pretty as it gets, right? So now we could start taking a look to see if it gets back above 650, or you can start taking a look to see if other names can start to push back to the upside. NRG starting to push back, right? CEG, another name that could push back, right? So I start to take a look at also a name that I like, SMR. Nice closed yesterday above 35. Was talking about, could this get above 35 and hold yesterday? Yeah, it did it. And right now it's already to 37. So this is how these names are, guys. Yesterday, really good day. I had that feeling. It felt like to me that we would get another rally, and we've gotten the rally and then some. So that's going to be the hard part today. Can we continue, or will we have a little bit of pullback here as the CPI really drove us up there, 654. We haven't been able to get back up there. We got to take a look at NVIDIA, Oracle. Will those continue to high fly? Remember yesterday, what did I say on AMD's move? Also, watch for NVIDIA to potentially get the climb. It actually dropped down all the way until 12 o'clock, then just started to rocket, guys, into the close, rocketing into the close, and now up there to 176 and doing what? A move right back to the upside. So that's going to help the Qs, right? You're going to see some names kind of pull back off of this, but we can start to look to see, do others start to take part in the rally? Meta looking like it wants to rally. Microsoft looking like it wants to rally. So I'm watching to see what happens on these names. Apple being the only one that I'm seeing really kind of pulling back, but we'll see how this one even turns to the upside today. All right, let's keep taking a look into the market. We'll see what else is out there. How are we doing? What a morning indeed. You cashing in to Ontario? Let's go. What do you got for me? All right, we'll take a look at different stocks out there. We can take a look at some of those small caps that are moving. Let me pull that watch list back up here. I have this high day scanner that you guys could take a look at, and I can give you guys the code for it and stuff like that. It's a real simple one. I created it on ChatGPT. So pretty much it does like something that's broken, like a nice 5% run, but then pulled back also. So that's what I'm looking for, like a quick move that's pulling back, right? That's what we'll catch under these. And there's tons of names to look at today, guys, and tons of names that could go higher. I mean, the small cap space has just been absolutely insane. Of course, this could slow down at any moment, but for right now, I'm still in the camp. Haha, pun intended, camp. Let's take a look at this one. 394, 390s. Looks like it wants to go through 4, get back up there towards like $5, then maybe 6 and 8. This looks interesting. It's a biotech. Hasn't gone the run yet. Look at the daily. It's been kind of relatively a new stock. I kind of like this as it's starting to rip. Camp. Why not take a look at it, guys? We'll take a look here. All right, getting my system back up here. But yeah, this is definitely one of those names where I'll take a look at. That's what you call the piano trade. GLE, SMX, some pops and drops, that's for sure. Yeah, Jay Angelo, if you see anything out there, man, you know it, man. I know you're into that small caps, and they've been hot, hot, hot. Another area that's been hot is QUBT. I talked about that yesterday. It looked really nice that would it make a move to the trend line, which was 1550. It did that and then some, another 7% move, guys. Sometimes I can see the trades, just might not be able to nail them all. Another thing is I don't get a chance to stick at the desk for long, guys. I'm here towards 11, then I have to, take care of the twins, and that's just a part of life. But the truth is I miss trades like this, right? Because the truth is this one started making the move, but in towards the afternoon, and it bottomed out right around kind of the 2:45 time. And then from there, just started grinding up towards the end, about an 8% run from that down low to the top. So just that move alone, great trade there. That tells me that the other ones also got going. IonQ, Rigetti, right? This is why I trade relationships, guys, because we can essentially separate our risk into 3 names and try to subjectively trade 3 names and potentially end up into the green, right? It doesn't guarantee us, but if we could trade 3 names versus 1 name, maybe you might do better, guys. This is where I think that sometimes it makes sense, not just highly concentrated into just one area, but also looking into the industry and trying to catch the different moves. Like Rigetti's setup was, of course, yesterday, a breakout above 1550. You can see it on the daily, right? You can see how this looks good if it starts to break back above the trend line. Right? So if it starts to get anywhere above this trend line, it's going to look great. Now, if it takes out the 1670s, it'll look really good for a move back towards this high, 1770, 1722. So we could start taking a look to see how these names start to fly. And for that mention, SoFi already getting going this morning. This is a name that I really want, guys. This is a name that I think could be the next Palantir. I've talked about it, and I'm not going to stop talking about it until that changes tunes. UUU, another name that I'll be watching to potentially day trade today. This is the main thing right now. There's stocks that are hot, and you got to be quick. Yesterday, I talked about it. Undercut of 12 on UUU. Looked amazing. This is a strategy we've been talking about countless times here. Let's take a look at the strategy really quickly here on UUU yesterday to see if we see a similar move today. So a lot of times what we're going to look for is a quick dip back down below the support in the pre-market, cutting towards an area of resistance prior, right? So around 12, the prior day's resistance, it undercut the 12, really quickly starts to come back. Yes, it tests his VWAP a little bit here, but watch how the buying steps up here at the 1250s, and you just start to grind up higher. This is the exact strategy that you guys could be using and mastering a bigger trade, because yes, it comes back to VWAP, but look how this just builds and never cuts through that 1216 again. It just builds. Now volume's starting to come in, and then now you're riding a trend. How much higher? All the way up to that 1320s. Just that move alone from buying even at, let's say, 1228, you're looking at a 9% move higher. Guys, capturing 9% is how you start winning, is how you really look like a real trader. To tell you the truth, traders that can make 9, 10, 20, 30, 50% in a year are absolutely killing it. So start focusing more on the percentage returns and not necessarily the Lamborghini money, right? If we can focus on percentage return, we just might be able to find long-term success. All right, guys, let's go to the Sunrise Report where we can take a look at what stocks are moving this morning. First thing, of course, futures were mixed earlier, but of course that has slowly been pushed to the side here as the CPI really kind of taking off now, guys. So we'll see what happens out there. Let's take a look at what else is making a move there this morning. Of course, we can go to Oracle and talk about the AI cloud boom here. As we go to Oracle, we can take a look how much this moved yesterday. And what I liked is the algos first hitting it down a little bit and then it just ripping up there, guys. Of course, Oracle surged of nearly 30% after the software giant revealed a jaw-dropping growth in its cloud infrastructure business. The multi-cloud database revenue via Amazon, Google, Microsoft up 1,529% year over year. $455 billion in remaining performance obligations just shows us the absolute ridiculous that they have on their obligations to actually perform on these contracts, right? So the contracts are getting bigger, and there's a big deal here that massively jumped up, right? So a multi-billion-dollar AI contract signed in Q1. So that definitely helped. 3.3 billion in cloud infrastructure revenue, up 55% year over year. And CEO Safra Katz saying it was an astonishing quarter, and demand for Oracle's cloud infrastructure continues to build. Co-founder Larry Ellison teased a new Oracle AI database coming in October, allowing clients to run OpenAI's ChatGPT-5 and other models inside of Oracle's databases. At these levels, Oracle is flirting with 800 billion market cap, setting up for its biggest and best single-day rally since the dot-com boom. So big move there. GameStop also getting a nice little lift. Let's go to that now as we take a look into the high fly in GameStop as it's up there to what now 26 and pulling back. So big lift here. GameStop climbed 4% after delivering a surprise profit boost here. EPS coming in at 25 cents, beating the estimate there. Revenues at 972 million and Bitcoin holdings at 529 million. The meme stock darling is leaning into the crypto while still searching for sustainable growth. Traders piled in, reigniting the old school meme stock chatter. Also, Chewy coming in this morning with their earnings. And this one, a disaster of the day for sure. Chewy jumped after crushing the Q2 expectations and raising its full year outlook. But it just completely got just crushed after that here. Sales at 3.1 billion and 3.08 billion. Full year sales guidance here raised to 12.5 to 12.68. And it was at 12.3 and 12.45. Well, they're struggling right here because margins expected to improve a little bit here, but things just can't get the love that they need here on Chewy. Daily just getting absolutely killed off of that move. We'll see how further this can fall. All right, let's go to Rubrics here. I like this name as I've been talking about it. I've been bringing it up here as it's definitely a followed name here that you guys need to kind of keep watch. So Rubrics, of course, it's an AI player software, has been a newer player, kind of opened in 2024, has been absolutely killing it, and really nice looking chart here. So of course, if I see it's nice, guys, that means a lot of traders will probably look at this that know technicals and see it nice also. So now we need to see, can we get above this level and really kind of break out above? That's going to be above that 100, right? Off of this report, you broke it, and now you're right back below it. Can you break it today? The big eyes will be watching this trade. Adjusted loss coming in at 3 cents versus a 4-cent estimate. Revenues at 310 million versus 282 million estimate. The data security firm beat revenues, but offered cautious commentary heading into the second half. Aero environment drone higher here as we'll take a look into the drone space, as this is a drone player that we don't talk about often because it's more an expensive one, but it's doing well. I think that we got to continue to watch this. I've talked about how DJI's ban could be coming in December, and this is a nice little setup, right? Nice daily chart, undercuts. Now it could look for the rally. I really like this setup here on AVAV. We'll see how this starts to come back here. You kind of filled the gap yesterday. You came back into that spot. As long as we can hold support out the gates, maybe attempt even back to 226. That doesn't even matter to me. What matters to me is more the break above 245. I want to catch that run. This looks great here. We'll see what happens on some of these names. Look at the MACD trying to build here. RSI already jumping. MACD about to cross. All signals pointing towards the upside. Don't forget, though, daily range could be all the way as high as $12 and an hourly range around $7. So, hey, it moves, AVA. We'll see what happens here in Aero environment. So, hey, not looking too bad out there. Their EPS was at 32 cents versus the 37-cent estimate. Revenues were at 455 million versus 440 million. Guidance reaffirmed for full year EPS forecast at 360 to 370, and revenues at 1.9 to 2 billion. Military drone demand continues to underpin its long-term story. So we'll see what happens there. The housing housing market also getting a boom, guys, as mortgage rates slid to 6.49, the lowest since October 2024, sparking the strongest borrowing demand since 2022. Total applications here up 9.2%. Refinance activity coming in. Purchase demand also jumped as buyers came off the sidelines. We'll see how long this lasts, but definitely it just shows that the downward rate movement spurred the strongest week. So, hey, if we can get more rate cuts, will that spark more of the home builders? Nail here is the name that I've been talking to you guys about. I've been watching it since that 80 breakout. We've pulled back to the 90 MA. Are we going for another move? And we can take a look to see if Builders Resources, First Source, can keep moving. Can Toll Brothers continue to lift higher, right? Well, you guys can take a look at some of these names. We'll be watching them towards the open. I also like Carrier off the bottom here. So this is one that I'll be watching today. Just the actual numbers there could get this one higher. I'm going to set an alert here on this. 65 is really what I'm looking to see break, but I'm going to put it a little bit higher, looking for it to break out and then pull back, try to play that pullback. All right, that's going to do it for me here. Of course, big picture here on Oracle's jaw-dropping cloud forecast that reignites the AI trade. GME reminded us that meme stocks never really do die, and Chewy is proof that Americans won't get skimpy on their pets. But of course, that one disaster stock there. SNPS and Rubrix show not every tech name is an AI winner, but Rubrix looking good there. Housing finally catching a break as rates slide. Let's keep going. We'll get towards the market here. It's time to really kick things off. Start that countdown. Get to the trading action. Let's go, guys.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Let's go ahead. Let's bring them on. The man, Michael Knowles. What's going on, man?
Yo. Again, another great day to be a bull. I'm happy. I don't know what just happened. Was it a CP or a PP or a whatever it was? Rocketed the market.
Don't get caught with your PP out, man.
All new highs for those who celebrate.
CPI, and yes, it was a higher, that's for sure. And what was expected was a big jump in inflation, completely not there. This also tells us what?
Great.
That the back and forth, that's what the problem right now. So the numbers that are coming in and out, right? So tariffs come in, tariffs come out, tariffs come in. So I think these estimates, like these forecasting models, are really struggling to give good estimates because the data that's coming in is far off the estimate. If you guys remember, the PPI that just recently came in was extremely hot in inflation. But then the CPI comes in today, and then it's showing what? A lightening up, if anything, not the sparking that we got, right? Because the year over year and core PPI coming in there came in at 2.8 versus 3.5 estimates. So that's a big miss there. Like, the estimate completely off there. So
is there any point that we learn as a species, as a human collective, that all these numbers are BS and there's no reason to focus on them anymore? Like,
the thing is then there would be nothing to talk about in finance, man. But they got to do TV somehow, Michael.
They'll just turn them into technical channels, right? And we're all just going to be technicians at the end of the day. Because it just proves it, right?
This nerd that I work with on a daily basis, guys. You guys hear him here. This quant.
I don't know. What's more nerdy, talking about some number that's just completely fictional. And then there's like that revision of, oh, sorry, we were off by 1 million jobs last
It-
month. Like, so
this is
what
why when you go
are you
to
doing?
business school, guys, anybody that's ever gone to business school, when you see the economist guy and you're just like, dude, what are you studying, bro? Like that's all
Yeah.
BS.
Like what's well, and I always love the Buffett quote, right? If you have two economists working for you, you have too many employees. Um, yeah, because it's just like, oh, sorry, we missed by a
It's a
million
bunch of
jobs.
prediction, right? It's almost like a weatherman. They're always wrong, yet they still have a job.
I've been saying it my whole life, man. If I were to do it again, I'd be a weatherman. Imagine just being able to walk into work every day and just be dead wrong and just no one cares. Like, oh,
No
who's
one
silly?
cares. No one calls you out. Like,
Yeah. If you
oh
were
yeah,
a
man.
dentist and you're pulling out the wrong the wrong tooth every now and then, you're sued.
The
But these guys like,
weathermen
yeah,
are really bad, man. But the economists, you can say probably a lot of the times just as bad. Just like analysts also, because they also get into this
yeah.
game too, where it's like the analysts. How much you want to bet that they're all just changing their ratings on Oracle now, and just all of a sudden now they see the light in Oracle. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
duh, bro.
right when I was a discretionary day trader at the firm, part of my morning routine is I would look at all of the analyst upgrades and downgrades and put them on a fade list. Right, if they're getting upgraded, I want to short. If they're getting downgraded, I want to buy because yeah, those
How,
guys are
profitable do you think that strategy really is in the long term?
probably does great. Right, it would the short would be harder, but as soon as they start downgrading a stock like that's already destroyed. Like
Yeah.
someone Lulu, I think that there's like a slew of downgrades that came out yesterday.
Like even
Like,
like an Ulta that took like a huge dip and then all of a sudden now it's right back, right? I mean I know that
yeah,
there's some analysts that came out and they're like, oh, Ulta's down. It's didn't completely go to 200. Now it's back to 500.
yeah. So that this to me makes perfect sense as now eventually, right? You want to,
Yeah.
you want to take the other side of that, and
Yeah.
again, it's just kind of been my nature for my whole trading career is I want to find out where people are stuck and where they're overweighted, and
You
I'm gonna grab
contrarian
grab
you.
the other end of it.
You contrarian you.
That's works, right?
Eh,
I try not to be
Sometimes sometimes it's not just mixing with the herd. I'll tell you what the herd is definitely though mixing up with. Holy penny stocks, man.
oh
Uh,
yeah, that was
Holy
a
penny stocks.
crazy day.
It is just massively crazy out there. I don't know if you caught all those moves. I know you caught that QMMM. I don't know how much you wrote it up, but man, it was a wild, wild day out there in the Wild West of the
In my
world.
personal account, I got a lot of it. In the trade the pool account because it was an eval, I just put
Yeah.
that profit target at what that 50% move was.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
I
you just
ended up
took it.
getting here
You
at
just took the
5 bucks.
50%. That was a smart
Good.
man. We both got one yesterday, a max 50% consistency rule. Shout
Nice.
out to you guys. You know what
The
I
yeah,
mean?
but
Those are the
my
best.
personal account, it was a 5-figure day. We'll just say that. So it was a very good day on
Hey,
this.
can't be mad.
I'm hearing rumors out there. Again, I cannot divulge my source, and I won't talk too much about it. But
Mhm.
there may have been a broker that might be sitting on the verge right now of not existing. And I've heard of different firms and people I talked to of people that lost 30. I know one guy, 35 million. He lost shorting QMMM. So just cautionary tale for everybody, right? Be careful because what happens is, right, say you have a huge position, right, during this halt short, well, that's a 40% up move. And then back here is where things got like real wacky, where you're talking, 50, 60, 70% gains from halt to
Yeah.
halt. And then the
And
amount of
jumping too, right?
volume.
Like not really giving you chances to get out. That's what people don't understand.
Exactly.
People don't really understand that at the end of the day, when you're like short a name like this, who wants your shares, man? And it's just jumping, and you can put it out there. I wouldn't dare to put out a market order, but these jump fast, and the spread
Well, and
also destroys you, right?
you got to think generally what causes a lot of these pops is that there's people short and the broker is trying to force liquidate them. So the
Yes.
stock opens and there's like 5 brokers sending through hundreds of thousands of shares in market orders because they're trying to get out of their position because you'd like to say, oh, well, the broker, the guy who lost 35 million, he has to just pay his broker. It's like, with what? And if he doesn't have $35 million, the broker eats it at the end of the day. That's the broker's risk. So there was, a lot of rumors and things floating around the street there of a lot of people exploded. Because again, this made no sense. Especially
Yeah,
this
it
last little bit.
wasn't only that one, right? We started to see plenty just start to just do straight stupidity.
Yep.
What was the other one?
And
Was it
CDW or
NSP
CWD?
or
Yeah,
well,
this one
CWD.
earlier.
Then there was the other one, right? I'll pull it up right now. I'm just losing it
Yes.
in my mind.
Yeah, there's a couple of these.
Um,
But yeah, so just know that you are the reason that shorting these things is so dangerous
yeah,
is because
EPSM is the other one,
EPSM.
and this one
Yeah.
just went absolutely bananas. Like just doing the same
And
action,
right. So
low
anytime
flow.
when you see this is what I talk about when the whole thing I was yelling about for months about they're short the IWM, long the Qs, is because when these people have to liquidate, they're just sending out market orders. So every time it opened and just rocketed and then halted again, open and rocket, it's going to do that until all these market orders are filled. So this is price action that makes it's mechanical in
Yeah,
nature. It's
yeah,
just purely there's not any logic behind this other than there's tons of people who just have to get out of this position, or it's systemic to the broker itself because at the end of the day they're left on the line. We all remember GameStop and them having
yeah,
to, right, they had letters from the government saying you got to stop people from trading this thing. You have to first reduce the margin to zero or your firm won't exist anymore. So when it gets systemic to the firm itself, it becomes a different beast. So just be very careful. I know there's a lot of people who make money shorting penny stocks. It just you have to have some sort of level where you say enough. I'm not going to play this game, and just
yeah,
so you're not that guy, because that guy
yeah,
who lost 35 million, to be able to have that much in buying power, he probably had a great career making lots of money. And this broker that may be struggling is one that's known for attracting these people that short penny stocks. And it's pennies in front of a steamroller, right? And you just need to make sure that you're alive and that you never get too big because things can go. It was like a 3,000% mover from low to high.
yeah.
They're very rare, but it only takes one and your career's over, which is one awesome thing that I love about Trade the Pool is we're going to auto liquidate you too. And we're going to shut you down for the day. So we're not going to let you do that stuff. And it's not your money, which is another great thing too, right? So just be very, very, very careful if you're trading these names. I know they're fun. I know everyone's talking about them, but they're widowmakers.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, that if this is your game, then I understand you're trading them, right? If it's not your game, then maybe you stay on the sideline, right? The way that I always refer to these also is this is lotto money. You like to buy lotto tickets? Well, this could be your lotto ticket, right? It's just an expensive one, for sure.
Well, yeah. And I'm just saying, if it's your money with a lotto ticket, you're only out what you spend. Like
Yeah,
this guy is now, if he just doesn't have 35 mil sitting
yeah,
somewhere,
but the
they're
key there
taking his
is
house, his
also
car, they're
yeah, the
garnishing his
key is having
wages.
a
Like,
have some type of risk limit too. It seems like this guy did not have his risk limit set there, and
well,
that's
right. But
paying
it's
the
like
price, right?
when it's halting up like this, how do you get out? You just
Because
can't.
the
Like,
key
I'm
there is
sure he was trying,
yeah, the key there is
right?
that it
It's like, how do you get out?
doesn't make sense to short something that's halting within a minute or two, right? And so that's what I would say. I mean, I don't think anybody in their right mind, even like the gurus don't like to short day one moves. I've heard it countless times, guys.
Hmm.
Day one moves are the way that you ruin a disaster. You can go to all the gurus, Tim Grutani, Stephen Ducks. I'm gonna go to the two of the ones that I believe are the actual two of the greatest, right? Even Tim Grutani
Yeah.
doesn't short no more. He goes long some names, but he doesn't do that anymore because it put too much stress on him. So,
Yep.
but he was one of the best, and I can tell you, I learned a lot from the things that he did, and he always said it's those day ones that are the dangerous ones because you don't know where the stop is, you don't know where the high is. Now we have a high to go off of, right? Now we know 303 exists, right? So the stock went back towards, let's say QMMM goes back to 280. Then it makes sense risk to reward wise to short a name like this, right? But that's the key there is that you don't know the risk at first and you don't have levels to actually go off of.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those I think yes, you're potentially going to miss the trades that intraday they spike up and they just reverse entirely.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, just benefit to your mentality, the benefit to your just way of thinking
Yeah. And long
and
term
your
success.
ability to stay in this game, right? Which
Yeah.
is
Long term success, right? If the gurus tell you something, it's because they've taken a huge hit, like a huge
yeah.
one. And then they had to
Oh,
learn.
I've done it.
They had
Yeah,
to learn. We
I've
all learn.
lost tons from shorting. That's why you see like for fun I took one share, but even on this, one share would have cost you like $200 if you end up having to get out at the top. So
Yeah. So
just no way. So
keep it
just
in mind.
know we're gonna have a lot of this. These things come and go in phases. So the next one that does a crypto thing, he's probably going to go a little less insane. And then the next one will go a little less insane and so on and so forth. And in 2-3 months, these will be a thing of the past until whatever next wave comes through. So just, again, stay alive and try to, either stay small or completely stay away from them and then go from there, right?
All right,
Oracle,
guys, let's go back to the
the
SPY
real
and
stuff.
take a peek. Oracle can't stop, won't stop. I think this is not one that I'll be trading today, of course, but of course this is helping the AMD and Nvidia really take off. I just wish I still could have a AMD. I only sold it because it was a 50% rule because today it would be another 50% rule already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just from sleeping and waking up, I would have made another consistency rule trade in that one.
The
So,
beauty of swing trading. Sometimes you just wake up and you check your phone, you go, sweet.
oh,
All
sweet.
right. Yeah, that's
The
a bunch
stock
of
is up
money in my pocket. But
7% overnight.
uh,
All right, we can take that.
Oracle, I am watching for a VWAP to VWAP
Yeah, a
kind of
nice little
trade, not
pullback
all the
out the
way to
gate.
2 VWAP, just right. And it's one of those I never look at the price of the stock because you're just paid in percentages anyway, right? So if I make 5% on the stock, it doesn't matter if I made 5% on a $2 stock or $20 stock or $200 stock. So that's I don't expect it to go all the way. I'm trying to figure out a better way to take profits than hunting for this 2-day VWAP because in a lot of these was NBIS yesterday. This was a VWAP to VWAP trade that got there eventually, but I would really just be fine taking this kind of opening range drive. So I think I'm going to take more of these and just kind of take off profits when they happen. But that Oracle is obviously right stuff that you see in bull markets only. When this company said they're going to make billions and billions and billions more than they thought. What else, right? What else happens in bull markets? And then just quickly around the horn, right? Everything is up. And really not much to talk about there, right? Qs are at all-time highs, I think. Yes, barely. SPY is way through all-time highs here. IW or Dow is all-time highs. We even have RSP, not quite there, but knocking on the door. So again, this is RSP is your average, not cap weighted to the big guys, but your average large cap stock. And then we even have IWM or small caps taking off here. So I heard you already talk about home builders, right? I own some of these already, but I like these. I would take a look at the other things that are really big in the small cap space, like regional banks and biotechs, that type of thing. I think there's some
The
move
regionals is
here.
not moving, man.
Not yet, right? But if they get those lower rates, you would imagine they would. And, we've got this prior high at, was it 669 and then 78. And that kind of completely erases this, which was the, Silver, First National, all those banks that went under.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that. And then there's PST is another way to play it too, which is your 3x leveraged regional bank stocks. So I'll keep that one as way. But yeah, XPI and yeah, tax saying as well. I wanted to mention that. I've noticed a lot more. I have a couple buddies who do M&A arbitrage for some big funds. And for those who don't know, essentially you're buying the one that got bought out and you're shorting the one that's doing the buying, and you just play that spread. It has to be systematized, has to be really, really fast. Like you're generally not doing that if you're a retail trader and you're only trying to make a couple percent. So you have to do it really big to make it worth your while. And as rates get lowered and this space gets a little bit more hot, you just get to see more M&A. So find, whatever biotech you think's got a chance to get bought out. And if the chart looks nice and you can do a risk reward play, that is the best feeling. I've had it happen, I think, twice in my life where you go to sleep owning a stock and you wake up and it's up like 50, 100% just because it got bought out. And you don't even have to, the feeling is nice because you don't have to think about what to do. Do I sell it here? Do I not sell it? Do I trail a stop? What do I do? It's like, it's bought out. So they're just going to hand me a pile of cash and I'm going to move on with my day. So I expect to see a lot of that start to happen in this space as well.
Just looking around, guys, getting ready for the open. 9:21, a couple of trade ideas, but just keeping them moving here. Looking around, guys.
Well, so all-time highs get hard, right? So I've got a line here at the high after the PPI, and then here's the pre-market low, and we're just kind of watching this range. Again, all-time highs get hard because you don't have we could move to this level or we could get to this area. Again, it's complicated to try to predict out what's going to happen. So for me, again, it's going to be a lot of fading. I'd imagine the bot is probably going to trigger a lot to the short side this morning. We'll see when it comes through, but I don't know. I just look at these things and I say, well, there's another big number tomorrow. And we've already had a giant move right now. So in my head, I'm just thinking, well, is that it? Is that the move today? Like we've had this PPI and maybe we come in, fade, fill the gap a little bit, fart around for a while. And then tomorrow we have the CPI, which is what people really care about, CPI and unemployment claims. Because again, all of this stuff is just people trying to predict what the Fed's going to do. That's the only reason we really care about these numbers. So CPI is going to be more important than PPI. They just use this PPI as kind of like a clue for potentially what's going to happen to CPI.
Yeah, so one's forward looking and one's like backwards looking, right? That's the main difference.
Yeah. So yeah, here's PPI went from 0.09 to -1. It's
looking strong, man.
Just change the numbers. If you don't like the numbers, change the numbers, right? Yeah, SoFi, interesting. Tell me that doesn't look exactly like this chart. Like exactly like that
Something
chart.
tells me SoFi is going to be that next Palantir, man. Still tells me it.
There's I've seen these a lot. Coinbase as well, where you have this prior high. They go back to, right, spend a lot of time.
Just don't stop there.
They go back and then they rip through. Same with Hood.
And you think it's going to stop there because this kind of makes sense, but it also could just not and say, I'm not going to let you in.
Well, and this one, I'm also looking to see maybe if this guy's next. Right, a Coinbase kind of do a lot of these things because they all IPO'd at the worst possible time, right? They IPO'd right before we had like that 2-year bear market.
Yeah.
And now they're back to their IPO price. So hang out here for a little bit. And
that move yesterday, man, I wish I would have caught it out the gates because that chart looked prime. I just didn't see it as clean as it was, and it had that undercut 2 days prior underneath 300 that really washed out traders, and now it gets moving, right?
Well, and I grabbed a little bit. I do any of my discretionary swing trading, I just do on the close. I just want to know what the candle close is like. Yeah. I found that over the long run, I'm not paying that much up. So the win rate increases. I'm usually paying higher price than if I tried to work in during the day, but the win rate increases because you don't get as many of those, it looks good on the opening drive and then kind of sells off all day. So I bought a little bit of this guy on the close, and I'm just going to use this, right, a closing print under these wicks right here. That'll be my out. And I just want to hold this one for I don't know, forever. Like, let's see if we can get to $500 or something. So
Yeah.
now I'm risking what, 10% to make double.
At least the gap fill is an easy trade, I feel like. And that's a nice little setup. That's already gets you back towards like 370. There's a nice little gap there
Yeah.
on it. So we'll look to see if coin gets up there. UNH, yeah, looking a lot better. A lot better now, guys. I mean, this is what you have to sometimes look. I think that real scare towards 233s after the scare was more that move, right? When it got extreme after extreme. When everyone stopped talking about it and being like, I'm dip buying UNH, that's when it was time to buy it, guys. So,
Also, yeah, the crypto space is really heating up here. So Bitcoin is
ooh, yeah.
like, again, I said it yesterday. If we bounce here, this is like a picture perfect technical play. You had a prior resistance area that you broke out.
Yeah, look at
You
Salt.
come back and test it. Away you go. And then, yeah, Solana's been leading the
Solana's
charge a bit.
rocking and rolling, man. The animal spirits, man, they're going around and they're going towards the next, right? Why stick
It's
with the same one? Like a lot of people started switching to Ethereum when? At the high, bro. You
well,
know what I mean? So
I bought a
now it's
little Ethereum yesterday because I talked about this. To me, is just a perfect chart because you get up to those all-time highs and then you just rest. You do nothing. You don't pull back greatly. You just chill out. And then now is when, in my opinion, you can take a shot because, yeah, if you were buying it when it was just doing a moonshot, when it just doubled to hit all-time highs, like where do you put your stop? For me, it became easy. I bought a little bit here. My stop's right here. I'm risking like 4% on Ethereum and hoping that it breaks through 5,000 and then moves a bit. So I'm risking like 5% to make 20, 30. Like I'll take that all day long. But yeah, Solana looks good. And with Solana comes the one true king,
the one true king.
the fart coin. She's breaking out, right? Grab your favorite meme. Like a lot of them are just going to move with it, right? If you look, even Peanut, this one's up a little bit. Ripple, someone was mentioning, this chart looks phenomenal to me. Just feels like we're getting a little bit of a heat up in the crypto space, and we just need nothing to really deal with animal spirits on this, right? We like do nothing to really hurt what we're doing here. But yeah, a lot of these altcoins, Mana, this Decentraland is something I'm watching too. Huge support here at like 30 cents. Potentially, if we move off this 30 cents, I don't know if anyone's still using Decentraland or Metaverse stuff, but this one looks great. BNB's hitting new all-time highs. Yeah, crypto space is interesting. So you can take that, like we always talk about. Mitch already mentioned Salt, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's Solana is still got what 15-20% before it hits all-time highs. So Salt is a double. So if Solana hits all-time highs, Salt is up 40% from here. That's a hell of a trade, right? And that's just to hit all-time highs, not what happens if we break through all-time highs, just to get there. And there's now kind of 2x ETFs for most of these major coins. XXRP, I think, for Ripple. If you want to play with that, right? The all-time high is 85% away on Ripple. That's huge. So yeah, just because we're talking crypto doesn't mean you actually have to trade the crypto. It means there's something for everybody here. Now that there's even like Tron treasury plays and things like this, there's a little something for everyone there.
All right, guys, getting set up here, getting ready to rock and roll. It's 9:29. Market's going to open here. WLDS on my radar, GLE. There's a lot out there, right? These small caps. I'll be watching for them, trying to nail them down. We'll see if we get one. RBNE, another one that I'm watching out there. There's quite a few. Of course, I always like to see like kind of those red to green moves because I like to see liquidity searches. So we'll see if we get some of those types of moves out the gates here. And will we get some declines? Will we get some pop back into those QMMM and others? Just be careful out there. We'll be looking to see what we get into, but spreads are wide. 367 ticks there for QMMM.
Yeah, just be...
That is wide, baby. That is as wide as it gets. It's as wide as the Grand Canyon, man.
So insanely careful if you're going to play those things, guys. Right.
RBNN less than. There you go. QMM opening up straight to the upside there, at least first in the 90s. We'll see if it captures some liquidity there. Apple coming back there towards the 230s. I like this one through the 230 spot. If it could get back through that and recover, that's going to be the undercut and rally that we talk about all the time, Michael. So that's going to be one that I'll have on the radar. Yesterday's best one with that strategy. We talked about it early. The undercut of 12 ended up going to 1350. So, I mean, that's not a bad trade at all, man. We'll be looking for trades like that to see if we can capture some. Looking around out there, guys.
Yeah, a lot of different,
Updates.
a lot of movers out there. I'm just seeing we're pulling
SPY,
back a little bit.
quick dip on
Yeah.
the SPY. It's just washing
So
out the morning action that you talked about, Michael. I think that's true. We could have the high end already, right? We'll see if we get back up there.
well, yeah, I think the main thing to watch is the low here of this candle from that PPI print. And that's 652 and a half almost. Do we come down there? Do we test it? Do we hold it? If so, that makes sense, right? There's people who are probably kind of anchored to that level who maybe missed a move. So yeah, we just need to kind of focus there and say, hey, this
All
is
right, guys, we're on our first one here. RBNE already got an entry there. Let's see what happens to that one. Sorry to run you over there, Mike.
oh no, I'm doing bot stuff as always.
Ooh, it came
And
back to the 4. Got me on the break even. I might get back in, but I'm going to wait for a little dip here. It did crack 4. Got the 424s. Looking to reload there at 4. It just kind of reloaded some there. Doesn't look bad here. Let's see if this starts to get going. There's the dip down, right back down. Trying to reload here underneath 4. Okay, some sizing coming in there. Trying to get up there. On RBNE, we'll look to see if some other ones kind of show up there. I'm being patient here, looking at other names too. WLDS did halt right out the gates. That one did get into a halt right out the gates here. So I'm going through some of the other ones to see if there's anything that's looking a little bit better. And of course, I know the chat's going to be all over these, so chat, we'll be watching out there. WLDS, QMMM halted. Yes, SMX now starting to get a little lift there. That security matters. That's not looking too bad there. This RBNE just hanging out there at underneath the 4. So at this point, I think it might make a $3 attempt. I'm just watching to see if it gets back above 425 here and makes a run to 6, right? So risk and reward is there, but just be careful out there. Robin Energy. This is a shipping importing name, so you probably know that the float is probably small. Be careful out there.
yeah, so we'll mention these QMMMs and things, but I don't want to encourage too much action in them. They're halted again. Shouldn't really surprise anyone. The just looking at some, I've already got 4 trades on the go here. It's been a busy morning. You know, yeah, it's been a pretty wild morning already. So let's see, grab some of these and just show them off to you.
BMNR hanging on too. I'm watching it.
I don't know what this TVTX is, but a therapeutics company. We took a little bit of a short on that one, along on SMMT here. So this one is, well, again, we can look at the daily chart on these. So this is just mean reversion to the long side. And RZLV, Resolve, a short on that one. So we got about 3 trades on the go here. Not looking the best off the open. We're down about $100, but it's usually what happens with these mean reversion plays is that because you're trading so wide, you end up generally being underwater in a bit, and then you hope that later in the day things kind of mean revert back to a place that they should be. So
Looking at Tesla. Tesla is starting to make a nice little move there. We'll see if it starts to really get going. SPY still pulling back, but TSLL is one way that I'm looking at this. Maybe a 1350s undercut here. There's some sizing right around the 1352s. Got some alert on QMCO. That's one name that I'm keeping an eye on.
QMCO. That's one of those quantum ones.
Yeah, it has a high short interest, and Quantum had a decent day yesterday, so I was wondering if it maybe would just get the rocket, right? So
Yeah, I was looking at this Rigetti chart. It's looking pretty good.
yeah, yesterday was a really nice breakout in that one. QUBT also, IonQ, they all went.
Yeah, what you want on these momentum names, I've always found, is just have them not go down. Right? If they can just not go down for a period of time, it ends up being the strongest thing that can happen. It just means there's nobody out there aggressively looking to sell those things, right?
SPY and Q's coming right back, guys. So let's see them come back. Of course, led by technology. Basic materials having its day, guys. Gold taking off here. Names like NEM, AEM, just ripping. WPM going higher. So gold having itself a day here already, guys. AU up there to 63.50s. So
Yeah, gold
basic
hit.
materials. Copper doing well. Steel, building materials, every industry in the green except paper and products, but looking good out there, guys. Aluminum, 1% up also. Alcoa, nice little push there.
Yeah, gold cracked all-time highs again yesterday. All right, ever since we've been talking about this kind of everything getting tight right here, and broke out of this nice triangle and just been rocketing ever since. So gold continues to just do all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. Now we see
WLDS opening up down and halting down. VST recovering. I'm seeing utilities strong here, pushing strong. So those nuclear names, CEG, VST, GEV, even NextEra Energy doing well here. Let's see if SMR can pick up.
Yeah, CG's is breaking out nicely. SMR.
Tesla big pull back there. Never got in though.
Well, that SMR chart is nice with that little dip under. That's the setup, right? That little dip under pre-market lows and holding up here. That one looks nice.
Looks good there. What I'm looking for is a slight dip below 36.50s. Like if I can get 36.30s or 36.40s here, it makes sense versus just chasing here at 36.60s. I might get that opportunity now, right? So I'm just going to wait for a slight pullback here. Willing to get in, but got to be patient.
Yeah, nice little pullback consolidation there. I always just take a look at NLR, but I don't think it's liquid. I don't know, there's enough liquidity there to... Yeah, that's breaking yesterday's high. So again, NLR, for those who don't know, is just kind of has uranium, but then it also has some of the big nuclear guys, got some of the little nuclear guys. It's just a good cross-section of just how that play overall is looking, right? Is it, are you getting a little bit too crazy in one way or another? Then it's a good way to take a look at it. So this TVTX is not working out for me, so the stop's probably going to get hit on this one fairly soon. Everything else is doing okay. I don't know what SMMT is, but that was a nice bottom pick there.
Yeah, it's a Summit Therapeutics.
Yeah,
No runner.
Fill at 1673. So that was just a
I don't even know. I'm such a degenerate. I know these names.
Yeah, I'm like, well, even like I was looking RZLV. Wow, that's an awful
Baba looking interesting.
alliteration.
Maybe a potential short today. I don't know. That just seems to me shorty. That's just because it's just strong and it just put in that like kind of pullback handle. I could see it going to like 138s or 140 today.
I don't know. I've actually taken off my system's ADRs entirely after doing a bit of a study and just noticing that I find them so hard to day trade. These.
All right, got one trade on, guys. I got SMR, got that dip there towards 36.20s, was watching it come back there. Now I can risk off of that area. Gonna risk about $68 here. We'll go 72. Just a little bit lower towards this 36.12s here, looking for SMR to get right back up. So.
Oh yeah, Tesla. Whoo.
Tesla
broke through pre-market high and just fell.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was looking for a nice little pullback there, but maybe it's the opportunity here on the quick dip.
Yeah, because it's I always with some names like Tesla, like this looks like a massive move, and if you just measure it low to high, that's 1.5% in a couple minutes. I always like to just go to the daily chart and just remind myself that
MSTR. Hot.
nothing for Tesla, right? You go to the daily chart, compare it to even just the last 3 or 4 days. It hasn't done really much of anything. I like that it's basing at this prior high right here and this trend line. This is another one I've really got a close eye on to take a trade.
Okay. Name doing well out the gates here that I'll be watching on pullbacks. The cybersecurity names, just to make it simple. I like this pullback there on those.
Short. I think this is one of these high flyers. PTNM. Just see that come through on the short side of things.
Known runner.
PTN 1 day. Yeah, so just looking, this one's up a little bit too much based off the system. Again, stops for all these things because they're crazy. And I like that I'm just trading everything so small and all the time. Like this CTNA also, I can tell you guys how many positions I'm in. This is one of the ways that I stop myself from ever, 7 positions, right? And blowing up in one single position is just not what I want to do. So all these things are just very, very long type of positions. So we've got, you do small and then frequent, and then you make sure that a QMMM never kind of lose you 35 million and sends you to the hospital there.
Got an alert there, BMNR. BMNR starting to get a little strong there. I like it. Someone just stepped up 4,600 shares there, guys. I'm going to try to get 50 shares in between the spread here. See if I can get it, guys. I'm trying to get in at 46. It's ripping, though, already. Come on, man. Give me a nice little pullback fill.
Pop over here.
BMNR, guys.
Nope,
BMNR. Trying to get a fill at 46. I have it out there, but I'm not trying to chase, right? Because there's definitely, on these names, you got to know your risk. So for me, I'm already deciding if I get in 46, 45 is my risk, and it hasn't touched 45 today. So I can do that with 50 shares, right? And so that's the key here of why I'm willing to go after this. There's SoFi pushing strong. I like that trade there for the 26 to hold and really kind of push away from this. So I'm going to look for one more dip on SoFi back towards 2630s. If that could happen today, I'll take a swing trade on that, guys. That's a swing trade alert. Daily on SoFi looks great as it starts to break 26 and goes above that. Maybe you might make an extension, right? So a lot of times what we get on SoFi is a 9 EMA run and then an extension away. There's your BMNR now, 46.55s. It's probably not going to let me in, guys. And the worst part is the spread just widened out there too much for me to take the market, right? To take the buy, because it was at 46.20s by 45.60. So no shot for me to get in there, right? I'll just be as honest as I can be and tell you guys exactly. I was willing to do it, but what did I need to do? What's called the midpoint fill, right? I tried to do a midpoint fill, like a fill in between the spread. Literally just put it dead in the center. But thanks, Steph, for putting some other names out there. I'm going to cancel this BMNR. We'll see if we do get a pullback to 46. I'll put the alert there now, but BMNR is starting.
This ASST that you put in that he put in is very interesting here.
Yeah,
This
that's a
very
known
nice tight
also
pace there.
known crypto, right? This is in the same space, right? I'm pretty sure this is exactly that.
I wouldn't be surprised to get some news at some point on some of these names that that are going a little bit too
They're
too
now
wild like this.
47 on BMNR. It was a good look. I had that good alert set there for like 46 break. It was fast, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I was about to say, it feels like there should be some, like, the SEC is going to release a note or something like that to
They
say.
don't do their job, man.
I know, but then I was like, I forgot the administration for a second. I was like, there should be something to say.
No,
Okay,
they'll root this on.
like, yeah, there should be something to say. Hey guys, You get a little wacky.
You'll,
Like just
the one that I want to see is
bring her back.
Trump be like, "Are you guys seeing the move?" And
Yeah. Some of our investors have made 2,000% yesterday on these
could you
crazy.
imagine if Trump came out and like just started promoting a penny stock? Oh man.
Yeah, I forgot the world I
Oof,
was
look
in
at
for
that
a second there.
ASSST, man. That thing
Yeah,
just
I
got
saw.
wiped out, wiped out. Watch out for those guys. I think today's those days where, so the thing is that, of course, now it's on everybody's radar, right? So not all of these are going to make moves now. You really got to respect yourself because this can happen on these moves, guys.
Oh, and yeah, you better believe there's a lot of hedge funds that had some emergency overnight meetings and said, okay, how are
Get
we
ready.
how are we
Get
taking
ready to
advantage of
rock.
this, right? Like how are we it's the same that happened with I
QMMM
talked about
above 100 though.
with the meme stocks, right? The meme stocks instantly when they saw this, they were hiring people from Reddit that were they're coming in. They're like, okay, how are we taking advantage when the next thing happens? And yeah, it's
BMNR is just strong, guys. I've been waiting for a 46 pullback. None given. None given right now.
wow.
It's not letting
QMMM.
me in. Look at Oracle up 40%.
Yeah, QMMM's
What
back to 100.
what a
But yeah,
move there, man.
and that's what it's funny because you say Oracle's up 40%, and then we have the other ones up 1,000%. But you got to understand, Oracle being up 40% is way more impressive than XYZ company you've never heard of before being up 1,000%. Because this is the amount of money that it takes to move an Oracle is insane compared to the amount of money that it takes to move any of these other names. It's just a different universe entirely, a different playground. Right?
Swing trade on Tesla.
Oh, I like that. Tesla, not the double, or did
Oh,
you
the
take the double?
TSLL.
Yeah.
TSLL. Because it's a swing account, right? Because I try to use the buying power as smart as possible there.
Well, yeah. It's just a great vehicle. I like when they're both.
Especially TSLL. That trades really tight spread. All right. That's what you want to look for in these leverage names. If you don't have a tight spread, stay the heck away, right? Because that's when you get yourself into trouble.
The yeah, the move of them, right? There's more juice in SLL when it comes to spreads and everything. And that's why, as much as I believe that there's going to be some M&A in these ETFs, because I'm sure you saw the stat that there's more ETFs and stocks out there right now. And
Sorry to interrupt, just to
yeah,
put an alert before it rips 3. BTBT. I know a lot of people were mentioning this yesterday. I wasn't one in the camp, but of course it does do the same thing that all these are doing. Has a flag pattern and looking to break 3. So traders are watching for that one. Just wanted to put it out there. Keep going, Michael.
yeah, I was just going to say that, right? Make sure you pay attention to who is the ETF provider, right? And that sometimes can really help you. Like the direction ones are usually very liquid. Some of these more newer names that have just come into the space, they're going to be a little bit less liquid. So just, like I find Wisdom Tree ones just don't have, I don't think they're meant for trading. Anything that Wisdom Tree does is more for investing, that type of thing.
All right, guys, not going to hesitate. FLNC, swing trade on.
I was just supposed to say we're hitting all-time highs just across the board here, right? On RSP, we're breaking. On the Qs, they're down, but we have RSP, IWM, so most stocks here are cranking to new all-time highs. It's kind of just like we talked about this morning, where it looks like, right, that little dip off the open was just a little bit of a dip and then a rip, right? So we just wanted to, shake the trees a little bit, get some people scared, and then off we go.
Cleveland Cliff having itself a day. Good chart too, guys. I actually really liked the way this is developing. I really haven't taken a look at Cleveland Cliff in a while, but the chart is developing here. Looking like it wants to start breaking the trend line run above 12. So
Yeah,
I don't mind the look.
big
Right?
resistance there at 12. So yeah, if it gets through that.
Yeah, like this is when I usually try to like maybe get in a little bit because you can use kind of this kind of lowering level yesterday where it undercut 11. Now kind of holding 11 this morning tells me more and more people are watching that 11, right?
Well, commodities have just been on fire recently.
And Steele made a move there. So I did take the swing there, and guys, in FLNC, just because this has been a rinse and repeat trade for me. I'm not gonna stop it if it keeps just paying me. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. Reason why I look at BE today and it's just ripping, guys. I don't know why I can't jump on this trade, Michael. It's just I love this stock. I just use it as an indicator. When it's doing well, FLNC does usually really well. And the pattern in FLNC is the same one consistently. It's a undercut of the support and rallying off that support. So today, like cuts towards 7, and then it starts to rally off of 7, right? So now I'm just going to look for it to just hold 7 literally all day long, right? So at this point, it can come back to VWAP, but I'm just going to look for it to just hold 7.
Yeah, we're getting a nice rally here across the board. Everything but the Qs. That's probably getting weighed down a lot by that Tesla. So if Tesla ends up bouncing here and recovering, then we're going to get the Qs participating too. But it has been
Apple dragging more than even just Tesla. I think it's Apple.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did see.
It really isn't that much there.
It's a big sell the news event on Apple. But I'll never get it because it's like they told you knew
so
that.
What's happening right now, I think, and some traders talk about this. I don't know if you believe in this, Michael. What do you think about like ETF effects when kind of the ETF sells off a certain portion of the ETF? Like in this case, because Oracle, Nvidia, AMD are so high up in the Qs, it starts to sell off other kind of value areas of the Qs. Some arbitrage traders talk about this, like Dennis Dick. He talks about this all the time. He sees it to where he can almost expect weakness in some names like Apple today, just because the amount that Oracle's up higher.
I'll defer to Dennis Dick on that. He's going to know more than me. I would just think it's
it's just more conversation because I don't think any of us are smart enough to make that trade just yet.
No, and you just need to know more about when they rebalance. Like I know most ETFs only rebalance quarterly, right? So you'd only get that around, or I know most of them do it end of month as well, right? So it's when does it happen? I think would make the most difference, right?
I think it has more to do also like kind of the rebalancing money managers, the big funds, right? How they're kind of approaching the day, right? When Oracle's up that high, you can kind of short you can short other names, kind of continue with that Oracle, kind of hedge it in kind of way. And that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing since out the gate, Oracle just continuing up higher. Now that Oracle is going down, let's see if the market actually goes up. Does that kind of make an interesting conversation? I think it's pretty interesting to look at now. Now that the Oracle's starting to drip, does the market actually start to go higher? I'm going to be watching for it.
I wonder, I don't know, Oracle's weighting. I know it's pretty high.
TSLL hanging in here. I'm trying my best not to add too early. I would look for Tesla to break 350 and then I can step up to the plate. But you got to be patient. Patience, young grasshoppers.
Yeah, 2% is what Oracle's weighting in the SPY is. So not low, but certainly not significant, not crazy.
I'm going to set an alert for Cleveland Cliff at 11. If it comes back there, guys, I'll take it.
Yeah, I think a lot of what we're seeing here too is just more of that rotation.
This is rotation. Rotation.
Continuing to happen too. The positioning hasn't completely unwound, but it's still there. So it's not as worrisome as it was, where everyone in the world was short IWM versus being long the Qs. But it was significant, and it's significant enough that there's still wrong, right? They still have to cover. It's just not to nearly the extent that they did.
Crypto name moving prior. Bitfarms, BITF.
Ooh.
And once more, Pineapple Financial. Actually, like this chart on the hourly. I'm trying my best not to think about the name. I made fun of this name on Trader TV. Now I got to go make money on it.
Just shows, right? It's all setups and systems, man. I don't care. I trade at Long Island blockchain when it happens.
Pineapple Financial, guys. I mean, the setup's there. You can see it. That's as technical as it gets, man. You know what I mean? Like the flag's there. So there's the green on the screen there for FLNC, man. This trade, guys, this is the one that if I ever wanted to I almost don't even like to tell people about it. It's just been rinse and repeat. This has been my best name for sure in the last month and a half. Just does it too much where it undercuts and
If
rallies.
you that,
I would have told the
yeah, you just
system. I would have told the
keep
system
milking it.
today. Don't ask me, but go mortgage the house. Don't ask me twice. Let's see if Tesla can go now.
Yeah, and anytime you can find those, I think that's important to kind of tap on for the users too, right? Is if you find like what Mitch has found is an area of strong support, what he's probably found is an institutional buyer who's using this level to load up on positions. It's not going to be common enough that that's like all you can do, but when you find them, just exploit it every time it gets down. And one time, it's not going to work, but as long as if it works 5 times, it doesn't work one, then
90% chance of working. Well, I mean, we'll forget about the 10%, right? So.
Well, it's like the people every time you go, I go out there and I'm a little smug about make sure you buy the dip in bull market. They're like, well, yeah, sometimes when you buy the dip, it's not going to work. It's going to be, yeah, of course. But
the other times paid me, right?
If it works 10 times and I lose money once, that's the game. That's the game.
This is why I even as being kind of a resident bear, right? I always tell you guys, it pays to be long.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll just say it. It pays to be long. Yes, it pays to be short sometimes, but those times are more limited than it is to be long, right? Like I think Michael and I have seen it. We've seen it, and that's the reason why Michael is such a perma bull. But it's okay.
Right, you can run
the world changed you, right? Did you start that way, Michael, or did the world kind of change you?
Well, and I started my trading career in 2008, right? So I started during
as bare as it could get, right? I mean,
how I paid for
how I started to go, guys.
How I paid for my university was like shorting Goldman Sachs. Like you'd go into work that day, you'd wait for financials to break a new low and you just short into them and hold them for the day and then cover them. That was like I paid for my entire university doing that. But no, eventually you read the numbers. You go, oh man, the market's up 75% of the time. Well, I should probably be with the 75%, not the 25, right?
FLNC 720s already, guys, almost $50 just like that, right? And in this account that can help, guys. So we're gonna work, guys. And I think yesterday was a really good testament, right? You guys saw me lose a lot on CWD, yet positive 400 on the account at the end of the day, right? Yeah. And you guys almost saw me ruin it, right? Remember when I was like, no, you're not gonna cut me out because I got cut out in CWD and I ruined my AMD position.
Exactly.
You guys heard me literally fighting myself on it. And I was like, no, AMD only. Mitch, stop. Like, slap yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to. You got to be like, no. Forget the shiny toy to the right. Stay with the one that's working with you. Because that's how it can be sometimes. We all see the shiny toys scrolling by.
Well, and it's funny. So, like, I had a chat with Kevin the other day when you were on Monday when you were getting things repaired.
Yeah.
And he was going kind of through the same thing where he was, struggling a little bit with the first day plays, and then his hangover plays were just killing it that day. So it was just one of those things. I'm like, hey, man, why not just do the other thing? And he kind of admitted it was some of the same thing where we all look at it and we all get pulled in. We go, oh, that looks really cool. And it's just not the way to do it, right? So it's like, you have to find a way to say, that's interesting and I'm going to watch it. And you maybe open up you take your, like right above Mitch's head, $47, you grab a 5K eval. And you say, you know what, this 5K eval, I'm just going to play with the craziness on this. And I don't really care what it's $47, right? It's a trip to Starbucks. So, and then I'm going to have my real account And that's where I'm going to trade kind of the real things and all of that. Where, yeah, it gets hard for sure, but you just have to have a game plan to say, yeah, I'm not going to play with those things. So
All right, one more attempted washout for RBNE, and then I'm gonna look for a reversal right back up. So I'm looking for like kind of a 15-minute 9 EMA attempt to come back to like 310, scare everybody out of this name, and then watch it come back through 4. So for me, it could be, do I buy the dip? No, for especially for names like this that I'm looking for to run today. They need to show me the move. That's going to be above 4 after the wash. It needs to try to do an attempted wash here because there's a lot of longs between 380s and 370s here. So I want to see them get washed and then me get in, right? So
yeah.
red candle 15 minutes here, and then watch that maybe go red to green, or the next candle be the green candle that breaks out. Tesla's still looking good there. Now starting to see AMD bounce. Remember we talked about would Oracle go red and like kind of start pulling back and the market come down? Well, Oracle said, I'm not stopping, but the market wants to kind of join in on the party now as rotation continues, right? So the Qs now are actually weaker than the SPY. Like you've talked about, Michael, that there's other sectors kind of pushing here and rotation. So I say, what are we looking at, right? Well, let's see what's leading in the last 15 minutes. Energy, industrial, basic materials, financials are doing well today. So I think you can look into those space to find different trades. And a lot of the names also, a lot of those Bitcoin names still doing really well on the day overall. Leading my list over here on some watch lists, FLNC, ARM, BE, and that's how I do it. A lot of times if I see BE at the top, FLNC, I'm just like, okay, well, the buy program is going to come in at some point here. And it seems like exactly that's what happens there on that FLNC. Because look at the motion that it does. And it's one of those stocks that really surprises me on how quickly it just comes offer, no bid on the action.
Well, and that would line up with potential institution buying, right? Because that's how
Yeah.
I've noticed that they fill orders quite a bit, is that they will look for a support zone, and
Ooh,
because
Ethereum.
right, they're told to get somewhere near that price, and so they'll try to get near that price, and then if they can't get near that price, then they go from there, and they just start smacking bids. So yeah, that could be again just more of picking up.
All
This
right,
is what
guys,
you're
want to
getting.
see one dip in Ethereum below the 9 EMA, guys, coming back to the VWAP. If I could get that, I'm all for. That's coming back towards like 148.70s, 148, 149, kind of in that area. I'm all for it. It's looking really good. You heard Michael earlier. He was talking about Ethereum looking great. I love the chart there on this ETHU. We've known how it's made runs before, right? So there's money to be made in this ETHU. It's definitely faster and a little bit wild. But hey, guys, when it runs, it gives you a nice move there. Already 3% return.
Yeah, and again, there's leveraged instruments. There's the BMNR. I know
Great too.
was chasing, right? Or you were trying to chase earlier, but you didn't get filled. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different ways to play it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That BMNR would be up $2, right? It's not a crazy move yet, but it could be a crazy move today, right? The key was you had to know how to risk a return on this name, right? So now getting in here, you'd have to risk down towards maybe 45, which is still about $3 away. Then you're starting to push it on the risk to return, right? How much are you getting on the upside? My thing is, BMNR has just been sitting off this longer term support. So if there's one day that it can rock, it doesn't mean that it needs to get to like 80, but maybe it gets back to like 53 today. Not a bad approach. Looking for that Ethereum pullback now. We'll see if we get it. Swing trades looking great, guys. Swing trades are rocking and rolling here. Tesla now rocking and rolling. So now is when I can add my Tesla. I actually have a limit to add at 13.15. So let's see if Tesla can break 350 here and really start running. This is one name that I put on the playbook that I'm not going to go away from, guys. I think this could get to 400 before the end of the year. So I kind of want to catch it here on a swing and see if I can ride it towards maybe 357 today. Of course, that would be TSLL, but hey, if I can get a nice little buck return back through 14, right? Back through that level, it'd be looking really great here. Entries at 1328, 300 shares. Let's go make some money.
Yeah, what a day. So that dip that we had off the open on the SPY just got completely reversed, completely bought up through where, right, twice now it came in, touch VWAP, came in, touch VWAP, and we said, no, we're ripping this thing. So hitting highs again, that Tesla
Oh, yeah.
bounce could certainly help. Apple's the one thing that's going to be dragging this thing down. So it's like we are going up despite Apple, and even though Tesla's doing great, Apple's still having a bad time. So if we can do that despite Apple, that ends up being a pretty good way to do that.
Watching the recovery there of SMR doesn't look too bad as it comes back to 36. I did kick an earlier haircut on the day trade account on this one. So just keeping an eye on it. The risk is all the way down there to 35.60. So understanding that is the key here. There's Tesla moving. I like that move.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think you got a good one there.
Key here is also like we got to remember Elon is now incentivized to bring results back to Tesla. That was my
Yes.
key and why I think it can run now. He's truly incentivized to let this thing just go banana. And one thing
Yeah.
I know, the man loves goals.
Well, what I was about to say, being $1 trillion is a pretty good incentive to get to work. I would do a lot of work for $1 trillion.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that it's like at 1350, this is where I tell you guys that I sometimes put out orders that I almost don't even want filling. Like I'm putting out a limit buy at 1310 here, not to put a stop out there. So like, of course, I really don't want this to break 13, but I'm going to put out an order there to say, hey, if you come back to me, just know that I'm filling more.
Yeah.
You come back,
Ours.
I want to buy. So don't bring that thing back to me because I'm gonna add.
This is always, again, and this is the setup, right? There's the pre-market low. So you undercut that pre-market low. You held 2-day VWAP, and then you ripped through, buying it through 1-day VWAP. It's a great little move, right?
Yeah, great little move. Just let it work. Let it work, guys. And the key today, find the strength, stick with it. If it's not like for me, SMR that's not working, why am I going to trade it, right? Go where the strength is, go where we can find the returns. APLD doing well today. That's a chart that I really like, the 50 MA pullback that's held. 50 MA pullbacks a lot of the times in trend trades are ways that trend traders get washed out and it recovers. So I like this APLD chart. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'll show you guys that chart on the daily right here, recovering. Right, we've talked about this trade countless times. I've shown you this trade at 10. I've shown you this trade at 14. Now I'm showing you this trade at 16. Let's see if this goes higher back through 17 and 19. The key, the daily on this can go up to eventually 33. I think this is one to keep in mind, guys. This is in the right space for me. I'm going to be watching it.
Yeah, it's been.
There's that RBNE breakdown. There's that 306 breakdown coming right back there, guys. So the undercut there, washing those traders through the 370, and it was a fast undercut. Crazy. RBNE, look at that, guys. Right back down. I was telling you guys, that watch out for that undercut. There's the undercut. Now I'm going to watch to see if it rallies. Right? We'll see if it happens. There's the true undercut. All right, looking around, what else is making moves?
Everything. I'm just trying to figure out something that's
Having
like
fun.
standing out, but everything is hitting new highs. So this is again one of those times that if you're not currently long, it gets very hard to potentially take these trades, right? Because
Are doing well. I mean, you got to find things that have pulled back. Like this chart isn't a bad one, right? Intel.
man, I don't know when the last time I heard someone say that is.
It's not, man. It's changed. Now the government's in it.
The old
Government won't let things
social-
fail. guys, I'm saying it here. Everyone hated on GE for a long time. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's a story that was very similar. And when this started to change tune, I started to ask the boomers, and I shouldn't have listened to them because they were all like still butthurt about GE kind of destroying their portfolios, and that's what happens. You know, I know that names get dead, and like Intel to me, yeah, it was dead and it was in the dumpster. It was on fire, and I never wanted to come calling. But you got to be able to flip sometimes, right? In your mentality sometimes when things can change fundamentally, or something like this can happen where the government is taking a stake. To me, long term, Intel cannot fail now. They
No,
cannot let it fail. The
they cannot.
government won't.
They can't let it fail, but do they just let it go? You know, not to zero, but do they let it go
No, they
way?
just support it, man. Whether it be backdoor deals, whether it be, it's like LI in the government. Like it's like China's government. Like the companies that they're a part of, I want access because they'll figure it out.
What I'm looking for, if which is Intel, I'm making Intel real simple here, is it's just got huge resistance at 26. If it gets above 26, I'm going to buy some.
You're
I
all right. So that sounds good.
like,
You alert me, my friend. We'll
like
be
I just,
watching it. I think it's one of those names that can turn the story.
when
That's the
it's,
key.
you know, I've been chatting about these low bases forever, and this is what I see. It's just big low base going on here, and that, right, if you can get
Chart.
above that low base, then you want to own some.
We're
And
looking
if,
chart in TVTX, guys. Not a penny stock. Good mover though on the day. The look and build TVTX. Don't
that's,
know it.
I'm short that guy,
Oh, you're
whatever
short that
this
guy.
is. And it took one short kind of right off the open here, so 2668.
A big rip on this thing.
But
I don't know what it
yeah,
does, but
no idea either. Provides FDA, so this is actually like a real thing. They make drugs. They help people. Like they're not YOLOing sheep with hat or peanut the squirrel or something. They're actually
ah,
doing stuff. So good for them.
that's no fun.
Yeah. What are you doing? Doing real stuff. Get out of here.
Dude, come on. B&M are holding up there. Got as high as 49, so wouldn't have been a bad entry. I tried it. Can't be mad, right? Sometimes you put the order out there. If it doesn't fill, it doesn't fill.
That's it. You never know. Yeah, you never gonna know which one happened. This
Looked like
SS.
the trade today was off the home builders numbers and the things like that. And it was engineering and construction names pushing strong. Who would have known? Who would have known? Do you even know an engineering and construction stock?
Nope.
Haha.
Caterpillar. That's
Chat, let me know. Let me know what's an actual engineering and construction stock. Not a cat would be considered heavy farm and construction industry. You could kind of put that together. We'll give it heavy construction is what they go under, heavy construction machinery. But
so this is this SMMT is interesting, and this is kind of the rare time that I'll think about turning a day trade into a swing, because
okay,
this thing nailed this thing at the system, the bot at 1655, right? So for my trade the pool account, obviously everything's going to close at the end of the day. For my personal account, which I'm taking them as well, I take a look at those and say, well, man, if this thing just rallies all day and it's got this huge support in here, I'll cancel the sell order, right? I'll just say hold this thing now and just put a stop at the low and just give it that chance to maybe I caught a low on someone. What's going on here? Tesla, big spike and
just a little
pullback
pullback.
there.
That's okay.
Q's reclaimed VWAP there.
Yeah, a little bit of an adjustment. I think let's see if technology can start leading the rally now. I don't want to see all the other ones lead the rally all day. Then at some point, you start to get a sell in tech, right? So what do we need to see? NVIDIA kind of hold. It's pulling back there. Can Apple start coming back? That's the one name that I wanted to see kind of fade out below 230. We talked about it earlier, right at the open, right? I say below 230s. Want to see if Apple at some point can get strong today. I'm still watching for that, right? You gotta be able to kind of just be patient. Let the sellers get through. Maybe even one more move to 228, but I'm looking for that move back above 230s. Maybe play Apple. Why? Because buy the rumors, sell the news. They sold the news. They sold the open. Now it can start to kind of just start trickling back, right? Essentially, what I think is happening here, I think institutions are like, they're like, you want to bring Apple back to us and let us load more? We're at 200. We don't mind going up maybe towards 205 or 210 to add here. I like this position. I'm looking for Apple eventually to come right back up.
Well, and I'm about to give them thousands of dollars, so I'll be helping pump those revenues. All my stuff's so old. I was just waiting to, and it's hilarious that that's how the. I remember the story of Warren Buffett saying the reason that he'll hold Apple forever is because he started to offer people 10 grand and never use an Apple product again, and he couldn't find a single person that would take him up on it.
Dude,
I'll give you
why
10
didn't
grand
he
right now.
call me? I'll
Just
take it right now. Warren, call me. I will
give
be
him a call.
Kyle.
But yeah, he's like everyone. They're like, no, my phone, the FaceTime
Warren
with the family, the
with the
watch,
boomers. I don't use no FaceTime.
no.
That's
So
like
yeah, I'm getting.
that's like analysts yesterday saying, "Oh no, but did you see how the iPhone can now do front camera and back camera?"
I don't
It's like,
care about
dude,
any of that.
Samsung's been doing that for 3 years, man.
Yeah, but when Apple moves, the world's like, what's the Samsung stock? They've got to have a Samsung. What do I even find? I can find the Korean version.
That's the only one that trades, man. SSGFF.
Yeah, it's a good trade. But yeah, it's just one of those, the walled garden, they call it. So I'm buying 2 phones, 2 watches, and maybe 2 of the AirPods, but definitely one of them. So it's like there's 5 grand. Congratulations. Plus, I'm paying their monthly stuff, so good for them.
I say buy Apple stock, not products, but hey.
Yeah, QMMM. What's this doing now? Man, again, no shot, no thanks. Yeah, that bot buy was great. We talked about that a little bit in the morning. Again, I took the 50% move for the trade the pool account and then my own account. It was a 5-figure day. It was a good day. We got some nice sushi, a nice thing of champagne around here. We had a good night. I did a little bit of bragging to the people on my website, and
BTBT guys looking interesting there. Just trying to break 3 here. I'm gonna load up here. I'm gonna try to take a little scout. Just a good looking chart with very tight chart, right? So BTBT, long guys, day trade account.
oh yeah, nice. Came right back to VWAP, held that perfectly, ripped through. Good trade there. And yeah, nice looking kind of little daily declining wedge thing. Again, I keep talking about my buddy Jake Wojcicki, which I probably butcher, but this is all he does. And I've traded with him live. I've seen him trade and trade his account. He's definitely a 7-figure trader. And this is it. This whole he's like, I don't know anything about anything. I just trade this particular pattern over and over again. And he just notices
Tightening wedge, or what does he call it?
yeah, just a declining wedge, right? He just looks for
Declining
something
wedge.
that's strong. Like the most
Yeah,
recent
something
trade
needs
he
to
took.
get tighter.
Yeah, he took JD on this day, right? We were chatting about it, and he trades options, so he just bought a bunch of options on him, and he just buys enough options that if it fails and it comes back down, he prices the options as if it'll be 100% loss. So if you're risking $1,000 on the trade, he just buys $1,000 worth of options. It either breaks and goes, and it doesn't. And he's like, I'm right about half the time. But when these things go, they really rock it.
Yeah. It's definitely an approach.
And I think it just shows that it doesn't matter. Like, and he'll be the first to admit the actual pattern isn't magic. It's just his thing. And you'll notice with a lot of successful traders, they have one thing. This is their thing that they do. For me, it's right, the systems, the bots, whatever, but everyone just has, this is my thing. This is what I do as a trader. I don't have to think too much about it on top of that. He looks for declining wedges and he trades them. And then eventually what happens is you get really good at trading those wedges, right?
Yeah.
This PTMN that I'm in just did a little spike, PTNM, a little spike and a bit of a rug pull there. So watch that. I just saw my P&L go really negative and then positive on that name. So it must have done it's doing something here. My system wanted to short QMMM again, but I manually said no.
No.
It's a no shot.
Don't do it.
I saw it come through the list last night. I'm like, I'm just going to take that one off so it doesn't trigger. I'm good with that. I had my trade to the long side. I saw what happened to a lot of shorts in this one. It would not surprise, I think, anyone if it went back to that high at $300. That wouldn't surprise me. So I said no. The only reason I let it in yesterday is because I had no idea. I mean, if we go look at the chart before this craziness, it looks really unassuming. Like, this is what it looked like when I let it on yesterday. So this is one of the reasons why all of the 40 symbols that get outputted, I just take a second and I look at all of them, and anything that looks insane, I just remove from the list because it's just too nuts. I think QMMN is halted again. Yes, it is.
Looking for one more dip on Palantir. I think Palantir is starting to change a little bit of tunes, guys.
Oh yeah, nice break of the space right here. I like that.
They pressured the shorts on that 150 day, and now their shorts are running. So that's what I see, at least on that chart. Shorts are running. Here's BT now starting to go higher. Let's go. This is more of a scalp look, so let's see if that can start to push. BT. I'll show you guys a trade. 2,000 shares, $2.99. Let's go. Stepping up to the plate, that's for sure.
You talking about Spencer Israel? Is it the same
Oliver?
Is that what we're talking about? I'm hanging out with him next week. So yeah, next Monday and Tuesday, guys, I'll be out. I'll be hanging out with the man himself. So
There you
I'll say hi.
Tell Spencer I said, what's up?
I think he's coming. Maybe he might not be if he's got the new little one.
I think he'll be there. I know that guy. He want to escape probably. He needs to escape.
I was about to say it's not up to him. If the wife lets him,
The wife lets him.
he'll be out of there.
Well, you tell him. You tell him when you see him, be glad it isn't two, bro.
Yeah.
From my side. Tell him, be glad it isn't two.
Yeah.
Because
I
two
don't
is a
know.
lot harder than one, man. I feel like all these guys that have one, they don't know how hard two is, man.
Well, even like we got two with their offset a year, and that's hard
Yeah,
enough. I
offset
couldn't
is pretty
imagine.
close. I think those are the people that know the closest.
I can at least empathize with your pain.
Yeah.
I at least know.
Yeah,
that.
you know how hard two can be, right? When
Yeah.
one wants to stay up and the other one's like, I'm going to sleep.
Oh, and yeah, never coordinated on that.
Never coordinated, just on purpose. They do it. They take turns. You know, there's
Yeah,
this,
it's your shift to harass the parents.
yeah,
All right.
there's the saying they always tell you, like when you're a new parent, they're like, oh, you sleep when they sleep. But what happens when the other one doesn't want to sleep?
Yeah, that I loved that. Yeah, you just go to sleep when the baby sleeps. Like, oh, and then what do we eat? Like, how does the house get cleaned? How does this QMMM has been halted for a long time here. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, maybe a
when
news
it opens
pending
back
one.
through. It's been
Starting to see that RBNE start to look a lot better here, guys. It's holding that 9 EMA and it's starting to look a lot better. I might take a shot off the 280s here and just go small size here. It's definitely more of a risk to return kind of outlook, just looking to see if it's going to get back up there. Really, I'm looking to see if anyone's willing to step up to the plate, like big. There's someone right there, 3,500 to 4,000 shares there. They're starting to come in. I'm going to take a little position in this. Risk there about $60 off the 379 spot. That gives me the ability to get in here and look for a rip to 4. It needs to rip to 4 to really show me that it's going to go. So I took a little bit there of that BR and E. Still playing BTBT as it breaks 3 and just trying to climb the wave, right? Climb the wave. I want to see a breakout to like 320s, and then I'll just sell the rip. I got no problem selling the rip towards 320s. That's a $400 trade. We can do that all day. Let's go to the overall market. Let's go take a look.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was bringing that up. We're kind of like we thought. It's bullish, but we chopping, right? We chopping on the SPY.
Hopping around a little bit.
And again, I just want to highlight to everyone who missed it in the morning. This was kind of like what they call it, like this is the appetizer number that we got today, the PPI, the core one, the one that everyone cares about, the one that will hit the newsstands the most will be tomorrow with CPI and unemployment claims, because both of this is these two numbers are supposed to be the only thing that the Fed cares about, is right what's inflation and what's unemployment at. So this could be a very, very telling day. So it makes sense that you get your initial move based off of this number, because people are kind of revising and changing whatever is happening there. And then tomorrow you get another number. So it could be, okay, we've done our models of re-updated based off what we saw. Now let's do the next thing and wait for the next thing. So I wouldn't expect huge trades. I think we all did a good job, and I think Mitchie did a good job on your Tesla and everything. Yeah. Right, getting that dip, right? Not getting too worried about that initial fade. I just don't expect too much more for the rest of the day. So
yeah, it might just be kind of a dull type of day. But this is the reason why I also think it makes sense to do kind of how I'm taking the approach in Tesla, right? I'm risking off the low now, like through the low, right? So I'm just like kind of like, oh, well, yeah, if you just want to kind of hang out, I'll hang out with you, right? We'll hang out together.
And I think that was definitely the way to play a day like this, right? Buy dips, sell rips, right? If you're going to be choppy, you can still, we talk about it all the time, you can still make money in choppy markets. You just have to wait for pullbacks, wait for dips. That's something that's takes a little bit more patience, and some people want to do. They want to buy things as they're breaking out. And in some environments like this, you just can't, right?
Someone talking Halliburton in the chat. Traded that one in a long time. I used to trade that often.
I used to trade that constantly.
Right? Yeah, like I used to like this name.
No. It's not Hal anymore? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
There's a little base here that it's trying. I mean, you could call it a symmetrical triangle, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like hanging in there, and it has the gap above that if they ever want to take it, really, they could take it, right? I mean, I think you just kind of wait on a name like this to break 23, personally, me. But if it breaks 23, I want to know, right?
It's only worth 18 billion. I remember these being like these during
Halliburton, Slumberjay.
Yeah, these being these
the Schlumberger.
A lot of people saying these are huge companies and these are the wars and all this kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, 18 billion. It just hasn't done anything in years and years and years. Could be just maybe a big dividend. Maybe that's what it's that's how it's returning capital to shareholders. Look, this is 1981. It's at the same price it was in before I was born, and I'm old. So, that is
Slumberjay also goes with it. So if you want to trade these pair, there's actually a pairs trade there.
Well, that's a little bit above where it was in 1981. So these are good to place these short-term trades on. And just know that most people who own these things own them for buying dips, or own them for dividends. Own them for, getting in that sweet monthly paycheck. They don't care if it goes up. They just don't want to go down too much. They're just collecting their monies.
GV's had a day, man. That was the play there. It wasn't SMR. It was those energy names. Those have been really nice. CEG. CG, and then you got NRG, another name. They're pushing strong.
And this guy's opened again and rocketing and probably going to halt again.
Almost a 150 again.
Yeah, just nuts.
Just remember what I talked about, how the big shorters are watching this, man. I think they're looking somewhere. Can you get me above 200s today? Right? Because if I can risk there. they're gonna start watching this, man.
Yeah,
You
I'd
know what I
say
mean?
I totally agree. Closer we get to this blow off top, they're probably gonna have a say, okay, this is my out. If we make a new high, I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna start shorting as we get
Yeah, I
close
mean,
to
there's
that blow
nothing to
off
say that
top.
this name doesn't go to also 500 to put it on warning out there, right? There's nothing that says that this has to come down. Realize that a lot of these are also being manipulated. So we'll see what happens,
Hmm.
right? Very low float can just rip, guys, and rip higher. Another thing is the rules to trade the pool, right? There's rules that are definitely blocking you from trading a lot of these names also too. It's for your safety, our safety, but definitely if you notice why a trade doesn't work for you, or maybe you messed up because slight rules, remember that we do have slight halt rules and things like that that could come into play with a name like this. So it might not even be worth it to trade, right? Just being
And
out
if
there.
you and if you ever want to know why, just tell you again, it's rumored the dude who lost 30 mil yesterday, 35
Yeah,
mil.
yeah.
Right? That's we don't want A, you're trading our money, but B, that's you can't some people like to make easy trades that are picking up pennies in front of a steamroller, and their idea is just right. I can do this easy thing over and over again, and then if I blow up, that's fine. But it's like that again. One of those that guy could have had a good career his entire life, and then in one trade, he's done. But what's interesting, just for watching for fun, is I just drew a VWAP from the all-time high here, or this crazy blow off top, and we're right there right now. So I'll be interested to watch just to see. Don't be yeah, I totally agree. Don't be surprised if a few funds. I think it's going to be more retail guys that got popped out on this one. I think you're going to hear potentially some of these smaller brokers that specialize in shorting could have problems. I think you're going to hear about a lot of prop traders, things like that, getting popped out. But yeah, I would just be slightly worried if I was planning on kind of aggressively trading this, because like I talked about, it's halted again.
Oh, APLD going higher. That's a name that we talked about. I think Talk jumped on that trade a little earlier while, and there
Oh,
you go,
nice.
APLD. There you go, my friend. Cash on that one, man.
Good.
This one was a great look off the pullback for the swing. There you go, man.
Yeah, nice looking
Derek,
there.
what's up out there, man?
Oh, that is it halted? It just stopped moving there for a second. Again, I've got this. It's like watching a train wreck. This QMF. I've got a little corner of my screen. I got a thumbnail chart up there, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep an eye on you. I'm not gonna trade you. It's just for fun. And yeah, it kind of looked like it keeps hitting this 38. Let's do a 1 minute chart. Yeah, it keeps hitting exactly this
Talk.
138 right there. It just won't. I think it's still trading.
There you go, Joey. Hey, this is what I love to see, man. At least, I I might not be able to, like I said, even at the open today, like I might not be able to trade all these guys. That's not necessarily what I can do all the time, right? But there's one thing I can do is put it on the alert for traders out there, and you guys are cashing. So, be mad. So hey, guys, you guys get it. I won't be mad at it. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what it's about too.
Oh, I love it. There's too many. It's too many trades for one person to catch. So sometimes you're just out here and you're talking about things, and uh,
That's
you
one thing
know,
I think I'm really good at. Is a lot of that is what daily outlooks too,
oof.
right? That I've already done. So then when I see these names move, I already know the levels that I'm looking at, right? So then I can make quick like assessment there for you guys and be like, yeah, today I could tell you I was like full like alert. I need to watch BMNR because if one of these names are ripping like that, why aren't they going to come back to the name that's been kind of dying out,
Hmm.
right? That still has a lot of hype, right? BMNR still has hype. Some people think this thing could go right back to the highs. So
Man,
I
that'd
think
be
another one that could make a move like that, just to put it in perspective, I was watching it too. It hasn't. But if BMNR starts getting crazy, I'd keep an eye on it, would be SBET. So
that's a oldie. Yeah.
oldie too. Like, you see the pattern, right? Like, so you're setting up here, you're sleepy, you forget about it. BMNR starts ripping, QMMM keeps going. Next thing you know, the algos start searching, right? They start searching anything that I can get in this space. I want it now. So watch for that kind of action.
What a wild move on this thing. This is wild. Like, it's a train wreck. I should take this thing off my screen. I'm just watching it QMM. It's you moving. The spread opened up to $30 a share. Insanity. And then there's people still trading this, and they're going to get just destroyed by the spread if nothing else.
They don't realize that spreads move, man.
Well, one thing, and this is why I'm interested in it now, is that it keeps going. And I see the bid you can see down here on TradingView goes to 138 and always 138 and never one tick below 138, which makes, is that someone desperately trying to cover and just get me out of this position? I'm just going to hold this 138 bid. It's only showing 100 shares, but it's never, like, you can watch, like, this is a 1 minute candle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it gets to that 138 bid, and that guy just doesn't move. He's just, I'm buying here. That makes me feel like that's someone trying to work that out as well. So
smaller names, I'm looking into them. If you guys got names you guys are watching, throw them up in the chat. We'll be watching out there, guys.
Tack, you didn't ask me that. There's no way you asked me what I think of CPI data. I don't even barely know how it's made. I don't think there's any value in me knowing that.
Put it this way. It's not going to slow down the rate cut. So the conundrum is going to come in. The only way they get away is they cut a little bit and then they're going to go on pause. That's what I think happens here. So you're going to get a cut in September. But I think after that, because of inflation data, you'll get another pause. So what? Prolong higher rates is exactly what I see going into next year. And then next year, once you kick out the door Jerome, then things can change.
Yeah, he's going to do a cut to keep everyone happy. I think it's probably just going to be a small one or two.
Yeah, 25 basis points or even face 50, but then don't touch it, right? Like, see how the reaction works out, right?
Phone it in until he's out of a job at that point. Just say, you know what, here's your rate cut. Leave me alone.
Interesting trade. Remember the Baba short that I talked about? It's just been going sideways all morning. I wonder if it actually just starts going red. Like, China trade is like that a lot of the times. Like, when it gets hyped and when it starts looking really good on the daily bullish ways, a lot of times it just pulls back on me. So that's why I'm thinking about it, right? So,
yeah. What is
another one that just went a smaller name, kind of just pulled back off the 9 EMA, APDN. Smaller name.
Where is the indicators? Polymarket. Yeah, I don't, even more than the Fed tool, I like just these trend spider.
Tesla driving, guys.
The probability of a 3-point cut is now the highest as of this morning. This is just the poly market just gets pulled in by trend spider. You can see now we're at 75 basis points. There's a 40% chance and then a 40% chance of 50 basis points. That's what the people betting, that's where they're betting, putting their money right now.
PTNM trying to recover 7. Still looks kind of interesting there. It's about 1, 2, 3, and now it's reloaded off of the 650s. Could get going above 7, but of course that one is a high flyer.
Yeah, is that another one of these Fartcoin treasuries, or is this?
It's a household personal product, so definitely not in the right space for like a huge move. But maybe you get an attempt here above 7, right? Just keeping it in mind.
I'm calling it. That's the top of all this stuff. The top of the market is the first company that comes out as a Fartcoin treasury. I'm just going to cash and just taking a nap at that point. That's got to be the signal. You know, one of them is going to do at this point. Why? Like,
why
you can
wouldn't
do Tron? You can do WorldCoin. You can do all these weird coins.
If I was just like a random penny stock, I'd be definitely considering it. I'd be like, what kind of reserves do we have, guys?
Well, and you'll make news. Like, if you want everyone to talk about your company, you become a Farcoin treasury. You'll be going everywhere. Like, you'll be on I think CNBC would even go, okay, guys, is that enough? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. All right, ETHU coming for the pullback now, guys. So just be careful out there. I do see the SPY pulling back. I do see that. So I'm just keeping an eye on the scalp that I had. It gone up about 2 cents, but BTBT really just not moving. So at this point, might just cut out of the position and then look to reload. There's no point in keeping a position. A lot of the times, if I'm not going to kind of see it just move here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just set a stop here and look to see if it goes. If I lose, it'll be the smallest amount. We're talking 20 bucks, one tick. So just like it should have gone. Sometimes I get like a ticking time bomb where if the trade doesn't move, I'm just sitting like a sitting duck, and there's no reason to be sitting like a sitting duck, man. Just get the heck out.
Time stop, right? It's very common in quantitative trading. Like, I use it all the time for all of my swings. I've heard it called shot clock, right? The idea is that you don't want to spend too much physical capital or mental capital watching something that doesn't move. It's like, take your trade, give it a time, say this, I expect this thing to move in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And then if it doesn't, get out and set an alert. And because there's nothing stopping you from, if it's not going right now, you get out, you reclaim that capital that you can put to other trades. You no longer have to watch it. And you just say, okay, now let me know if you start doing something again, and maybe I'll take another trade on you. Super, super valid and used all the time, especially on like swing trading. Because like, imagine if you bought Intel just because you wanted to buy the dip, and you bought it in like somewhere around 20, and you've just spent the last year just sitting here not doing anything. It's taking up capital that you could do like literally anything else with, and that's just not what you want to end up doing. QMMM halted again. I'd love to get a halt count on this. Probably a lot. Just tanked after QMMM. Just tanked after that 138 left. And funny enough, this is really interesting, right? So again, this purple line, this is the anchored VWAP from this blow off high. You can see we got right up there. We jiggled around that for a while, and then we just kind of let go. So if that ends up being the top and we end up selling kind of back down here, again, interesting to me.
All right, looking around out there, guys.
Because that could be something that I could potentially systematize for future runners like this. Never trade it on day one, but maybe just put a VWAP at the high after day one, and then limit order goes out there with a stop loss. Say, hey, if you get back to that anchored VWAP, take the trade, move on. Down about 25 bucks across everything. The SMMT is the only long I have on, and it's doing fantastic. The rest of everything I have is to the short side. So short, talked about a lot of these CNTA, that's hitting new highs, not what we want. PNTM, right, that's not doing much, so we're okay with that. What, TVXT, that one's making new highs, so that's not what we want. But net, down like 30, 40 bucks. So pretty uneventful day so far. But like I talk about, I'm used to the system, and the system generally seems to have some drag off of the open, because you're just hoping that at the end of the day, some of these things just kind of mean revert back to some sort of a mean, and you go from there. Like, it wasn't until I closed down this yesterday with that QNTM. Now, I don't expect to get one of those for years. I look at that as like that's a once in a many moon play. But it's just the way I've noticed the system works. So if you're not comfortable with being underwater on positions, it's just not really the trading style for you, because you're just trying to fade extreme moves on both sides of things.
All right, watching 8PTN here. PTNM also getting my attention, but I'm laying off of that one right now. I think it could do like a 627 kind of cut there. So APDN, a name that I'm watching right now. See if that gets going here. I already made a little pop there, but I'm looking to see if it gets reloaded at 3 here. It went up to 380s, so the approach would be to risk and reward above like 4. So looking for $1 of reward so that I could risk about 30 cents or something like that on this name, which is perfect right around here.
Yeah, this is right. And just like we talked about, the SPY is meandering about. I wouldn't be surprised again if this happens for the rest of the day, and then hey, we get another CPI and a big pop then tomorrow, and that's where things get a little bit more exciting, a little bit more interesting.
Swing trade. Do I have any more money? I always love that. Those mentions. Lemonade. It's boring, but chart looks great.
I love me some boring. Yeah, that's a nice looking little bull flag there. Looks
Just
good.
as pretty as it gets. You broke out above it yesterday. You held it today to the key. You know what I mean? Like this is as you know, sometimes it's a trade that's like purely technical. This is purely technical, right? But another thing to think about is that there is still the hurricane season, right? And sometimes insurances get big lifts off of hurricanes. So I'd be kind of keeping this eye to see what happens. But hey, we'll see what happens there. Lemonade. Can it keep going? I don't know. I know some traders are watching this thing. They love the pattern that it trades in. It trades often in a flag. You can see a flag also between July and like kind of August. And repeated patterns, man. Some of the best.
Seeing- Just going through, right? So IWM is just about flat. RSP is down on the day, and the Dow is down on the day. So we have the Qs up on the day, just showing that this is a big kind of, it's a big cap tech day. It's not the day for the little guys. It's, you know, the large parts of the market. These are the ones doing the best. So, you know, focus on that, right? Like I know you got your Tesla that's doing great there, things like that. Yeah, just the average stock has done pretty much nothing today. And then some of these big cap tech names are which makes sense, right? If you just look at the Qs, it's like mostly this Oracle trade, which holy smokes, this thing just continues to hold. Wow.
Keeping a close eye on UMAC today, guys. Just drone players. I'm watching them. AV had earnings. That's another bull flag to look at if you guys like bull flags. That one you can maybe put it towards the descending triangle, but looks pretty.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This looks kind of like that. I'd set up my buddy trades.
It's not a bad one, man. And they undercut 220s today, right? So that undercut of the support gives you that ability to get the look that we talk about, right? Where you've gotten some wash and buyers stepping back in.
Yeah, it's a nice
Tesla's
look.
been the move, man. That thing's just continuing to lift there.
Bitcoin's trying to get through 114 here. I just see on the screen. It got up as high as 114.40 and then pulled back, but it's trying to hold that 114 even. And we got the old fart coins trying to get up back to 90 cents. Still holding. Still got my 13,000 fart coins. And just it's either going to go back to my entry at 50 cents or it's going to go up to 420. And then I'll get a vanity plate for my car or something like that. Have to do something funny if you end up making, that'd be almost a 10x on this thing. And yeah, the SPY is just consolidating. So, you know, take your time, right? Core Weave. Let's talk about chat. Core Weave. Oh, back over. So that's interesting. So this is the anchored view up from the IPO on Core Weave. Acted as big support here, a little bit of resistance there. So it has been very important for this stock. And for the way I trade IPOs, I just buy them if they're over the AVWAP, and if they're under, leave them alone. So intraday chart looks really nice on Core Weave. Benefiting from all this crypto shenanigans and speculation, right? But nice looking tight base right over VWAP on that guy. Oh, SPY selling just a little bit, a little down tick there.
Part of me is starting to look at that Baba trade and really consider it here. Just go heavy, short on that. Let's do it.
Oh, that's an interesting candle combination. Rallied there pretty hard and then just gave it all back pretty much immediately.
Taking a shot on that, guys. Just that's going to be my last trade of the day on the day trade side. Baba short here. I'm going to take a bigger shot here to see if this really starts to work. Would like to see this go back to like 140. So there could be a couple dollar moves if it starts to break this support 144. Talked about it too long for me not to take it. I'm just going to take it here.
It's a big gap. It's one of those things I always just look at and say, okay, well, what's this? Right? What's this gap if you looked at the international equity?
FXI coming down to, like, it just looks pretty to me to get after these names today. PDD not having the strength that it had yesterday. Same thing with JD. The strength isn't there. So I think shorting these names kind of makes sense right now. I could hedge if I wanted to, like long FXI, go long FXI, short Baba, but I'm not going to get too pretty with it. I'll just take that. Hems mentioned in the chat. We can take a look at that. Corwell still setting up. I saw that. We already talked about that.
Oh, yeah, maybe a little kicker pattern on him. It's not a massive candlestick guy, but I like that one, right? And kicker pattern, for those who don't know, is just a round, big down day that closes at its lows the day before, and then it kind of gaps up to the high of that candle. So just showing that everybody who sold or shorted yesterday is just immediately and instantly underwater. So it kind of creates that emotion of, oh, damn, maybe we should cover because we just instantly got kind of hit in that direction. NVIDIA owns a lot of CoreWeave. Okay, so that's an interesting call out there, Tack, for NVIDIA. Nice gap up there. So that's probably just gapping up with the whole Oracle, AI related kind of names, which is also why we're probably seeing a lot of these nuclear plays. A lot of these are just kind of like an AI basket. I feel like there's some people who just trade. They've got like a basket of stocks, and when it's AI on, they hit a button, it buys a bunch of them. Then AI off, and they hit a button, it sells a bunch of them. Tesla, yeah, Tesla's new highs. Nice little grind higher here.
Yeah, just grinding it up, guys. At the point where, like, I'm setting a stop on FLNC because at this point I have like 3 times the gain in Tesla than I do in FLNC. So it might just cut the FLNC and ride the Tesla. So what I'm doing is just setting a tight stop now in FLNC. So if it does come down, it's not going to liquidate a lot of the gains that I have in Tesla, right? I'm willing to give up like 40, 60 of it, which is about half the gain right now, right? So I got to be smart with that other half that I'm playing with here in Tesla.
It's weeding, right? You pull the weeds, you water the flowers. It's the kind of easiest way to make sure you're trading kind of within relative strength within your portfolio is you just kind of go through and you go through and you say, okay, at the end of every day, what parts of my portfolio are lagging, sell those, and the parts that are leading, keep those. And just by doing that over time, you're just kind of making sure that you're keeping and rotating into the other ones as well, right?
Yeah, one thing that I'd like to see is BE start to fly here. So you can see BE was right off the VWAP, and I've talked about this before. Like, it goes with it, so it pulled back with it too. So if you take a look at BE, right on the VWAP, just recovered. Good looking trade there, even to maybe take the day trade shot there. But there he goes, BE, Bloom Energy. Let's see if it starts to rip towards 65. That's what could help that FLNC trade. We'll see if we do get it, but BE, Bloom Energy, big mover of the day, holding that hourly range right at the top end. Good looking pattern. And then Baba. Let's go, Baba. Let's go, Baba. Let's break down.
Trade Life, I'm not too sure what coin ticker you mentioned at 50 cents. I'm sorry, I don't know. A little bit more clues, I'll try to think of it, but I mentioned a lot of tickers, so sometimes they start to kind of wind together.
FTEL. I'm looking at if there's anything at 50 cents in my scanner. That's probably it.
coin ticker. I don't know. Oh, the coin fart coin, I think is what
Fart
he's talking
coin.
about.
There you go. He's talking
That's
about the
where,
fart.
yeah, that's what I have at
Just the
50
fart.
cents.
Cleveland
And
Cliff almost to 11. I like that
right,
look.
and as silly as it all is, right? I have a theory that none of this has any need to exist, like literally none of it. So I just tell you the reason I own it, and the reason I'm still own it is I bought it when it didn't die right here. So this is the initial move higher. And it came in, you can just see it just chopped around here from February all the way to March. So when it broke out right here around 50 cents, that's where I bought some right in this zone, just because, again, it didn't die. And ever since then, it's just been chopping around. But I look at this as like a big cup and handle kind of pattern. And then if you do a Fibonacci extension, funny enough, it goes to 420. And I just think that would be poetic to sell
Poetic justice.
your fart coin at 420. Like what else
Poetic
could you
justice.
want? So I just have an order set up there. I've got my stop loss break even. Whatever happens, right? And I'm in at like 53 or something like that, 53, 54. So it either gets there and stops me out and I get my money back on the trade, or it keeps going and then maybe it hits that 420, which would be roughly a 10x. Well, like a 800%
Don't
gain.
have the buying power.
But yeah, right now it actually looks
The
pretty
dreaded
good.
noise of da 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 da.
See, I love that noise.
I'll take a trade here, a 25 share trade. 'Cause that's all I can get. Just to take the trade. ETHU. I like it off the VWAP right here. So let's see what happens, right? It's just a classic VWAP trade. We'll see what happens. ETHU.
QMMM closed again, halted again, came down to this VWAP and then bounced.
MNR
Just
right
nuts.
there.
Yeah, you were mentioning CopX. I know yesterday, the copper miners.
Cops.
I have some platinum. I've got some other commodities. I put some DBC a while back, like right in when it did this. Again, you can see these patterns on all time frames, right? You had this undercut of support and a pop back through. So I just put, again, this is DBC. It's a commodity ETF. It's not going to go crazy. So this is like in my old man boomer account, put some in for the kids kind of thing. Just in case we get another commodity super cycle. A lot of people forget that commodities can just rocket, right? DBC, Investo Commodity Tracking Index. And let me get you the holdings. There's DBC, DBA, right? So if you go look, this is the holdings of DBC. It's got gasoline, crude, silver, soybean, oil, copper, aluminum, zinc. It's just a broad market basket of commodities. So it's just if you think commodities as a whole is a good idea, this one's kind of a good thing. There's DBB, which is just base metals, and then there's DBP, which is precious metals. But I just did DBC for like kind of everything. I have on top of that, I have silver. I have PSLV actually, because there's conspiracy theory guy I know always tells me to buy these things because they're physical, they're not futures.
One that's in the regional banks. I know you're looking at regional banks. I don't know if you're still in that mood, Michael, but FITB, really nice setup here. I like these setups where it's like a huge pop, nice pullback, tight, kind of basing around the 90 EMA. You got the 200 below it. It just looks interesting there. FitB. I'm not going to take it because I just don't have buying power. Baba taking too much right now, but looks interesting on that Fifth Thirds bank.
Isn't there a leverage Baba? BABX? Is that it? Yeah. Granite 2X Baba, $37 trade.
Okay. That might have been the better vehicle.
It doesn't. I see some gaps on the intraday candle though, so that makes you think it might be a little liquid. Plus, Granite shares, they do okay. I really like the direction ones, I find, and a lot of those things is a lot of the reason that different ETF providers can do different liquidity is A, the name brand
Oh
helps,
man.
but B, the way they get market makers involved. The more market makers involved, tighter the spreads, more liquidity, that type of
Man.
thing.
Now the question is, do we sell Tesla? Because it is ripping.
Pull the weeds, right? Water the flowers. To me, that's a
I
little
said
bit of
360
flower.
though. Today is not a bad look, right? Because it's looking like we're almost there, and so getting towards the point where, like,
Oh yeah, that
where
that
pullback
prior
could
high.
happen.
Yeah, I see what you're looking at. That wick high from what 2 days ago.
Yeah, you're gonna run into some selling that was there, right? But does it look better now? Oh yeah, that's why I like to get into them before they start to look really good on the daily.
All right, if
Because at
you're
that point,
if you're debating it, if you're fighting it, you know the middle ground. Just
yeah,
I'm gonna sell half,
they'll have
leave the
please
stop down at the low for the rest,
going.
and just
Yeah.
don't look at it until the close. Just
Yeah.
go do something else.
Yeah, part of it is managing FLNC right now, right? Because like I talked to you guys about it, it's also about managing the gains there and also not giving up the gains, right? Especially where I'm at in the E valve, right? We keep getting to this spot. I'm back towards, if I sold the positions right now, back towards 11,000. I keep getting into this area, right? I keep fighting the resistance. So what does that mean? At some point, if I can get above it, take it, right? Stop being greedy. Just take it, right? So it's just part of the game, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the
So
eval game.
right, my kind of quick summary here. The market is just this is kind of not to toot our
Oh,
own
sorry
horn,
there.
right? This is what we called. You had your
Yeah.
gap up, and then you say, okay, we got a big number tomorrow, so we
Yep.
just gotta chill back and forth. We gotta hang out. We're getting Tesla moving great. We're getting some commodities that are going around, but overall, nothing's really doing anything. So just like we talked about this morning, probably a good day to buy dips, sell rips, do that kind of stuff, and then tomorrow, right after that number's out of the way, then maybe we get a little bit more of a clear trend. And then lastly, or not commodities, crypto is looking great here across the board: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ripple. So pay attention to your Ethereum ETFs, all that kind of thing, right? So that's it for me. Is that a choppy day? I think it's going to continue, right? I think we're going to be in chop for a while. So just make sure you don't do the whole death by 1,000 cuts by trading that chop too much.
Yep. We'll see what happens there, guys. That's going to do it for us. Like always, you guys can catch up with us tomorrow. We'll keep battling on here or go over to the Discord side of things, right? We have our Discord so that you guys can keep trading all day long. And of course, there's a lot of recaps on there, events. There was just a recent event that you missed if you weren't there. So make sure that you're at the Discord. Join in. There should be a link in the description below on the YouTube side of things. If you're missing out on the action, of course, we have the Discord for the Trade the Pool family. Get on over there, guys, and join them. They also do some off-topic things and recaps. There's places where you guys can continue talking to other traders 24/7.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys back like always right here on Trade the Pool. Until